In a world where reductionist thinking often remains the norm, embracing an approach that goes beyond the binary, delving into the intertwining network of relationships, offers a vastly enriched view of reality. One such approach is the exploration of triadic relationships, where three entities interact in a complex interplay, each influencing and being influenced by the others, painting a detailed narrative that far surpasses the sum of its singular parts. In our journey through life, we often find ourselves at the crossroads of various forces that shape who we are and what we become. Imagine these forces as a dance of three powerful partners: karma, genetics, and culture and environment. Each one, an intricate tapestry woven into our very being, plays a unique role in our story. Let's start with karma, a concept often shrouded in mystery and tied to the idea of destiny. But consider karma not just as a cosmic ledger of rights and wrongs, but as a living, breathing influence on our daily lives. It's like a gentle guide, nudging us towards certain paths based on our actions and choices. Karma intertwines with our genetic makeup, an incredible code written at the dawn of our existence. This code is not just a static blueprint, it's dynamic, evolving with our decisions, our environment, and yes, our karma. Every choice we make, every belief we hold leaves a subtle imprint on this genetic journey. Now picture the vibrant backdrop of culture and environment. It's not merely a stage where our life unfolds, but a dynamic character in our story. Our culture, the traditions and beliefs we inherit, and our environment, the world that surrounds us, both shape and are shaped by our karma and our genetic heritage. Think of a tree, its roots representing our genetics, its branches symbolizing our karma, and the soil and climate embodying our culture and environment. All these elements work together, influencing the tree's growth in unique ways. As we weave through this narrative, we'll explore the direct and indirect connections between these three dimensions. Like unraveling a mystery, we'll uncover surprising insights about how they dance together in the grand ballet of life. This journey isn't just about tracing lines of cause and effect, it's about understanding the deeper currents that carry us forward through our lives. We will delve into the direct connections, indirect influences, and surprising revelations that emerge from the triadic dance of karma, genetics, and culture and environment. This approach, based on ultimate causes, allows us to look beyond immediate cause and effect relationships, shedding light on the subtler influences that reverberate through our existence, persisting through time and space, and guiding our evolution. Examining the connections between logic and dharma offers a fascinating exploration of how rational thought processes intersect with spiritual and ethical principles. The dharma, a key concept in various Eastern philosophies and religions, refers to the cosmic law and order, as well as the right way of living. Dharma are seen in the concept of samsara, the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, influenced by individual actions and collective karma. Logic, on the other hand, is a systematic method of reasoning that follows specific rules and principles, often used in philosophy and mathematics. Interestingly, they follow the same rules. One of the most profound aspects of human development is our capacity to engage, interact with, and learn from narratives. Stories, accounts, and historical texts serve us not merely as passive consumptions, but as potent tools for intellectual growth and ethical development. They influence our thoughts, shape our perceptions, and as a result, play a considerable role in how we act and engage with the world. Hence, it is essential to approach narratives as active tools for learning, engaging them with critical thinking rather than absorbing them passively or dismissing them due to surface-level complexities. Throughout history, great thinkers have identified concepts that are fundamentally interconnected, from the triad of force, mass, distance, time, to the triad of dharma, compassion, intellect, manifestation. They have embedded the logic they discovered in triadic lessons. Lessons that identify enough of the logical relationships in a triad that the others can be inferred. To make this easier, the direct negations of states are often described in the opposite triad. Oftentimes, this results in a lesson that is facile, confusing, or conflicted. But the interpretation of the story's lessons utilizing inverse logic contributes to a more profound understanding of the narrative. It helps us engage with the texts as they are, complex and full of varied interpretations, prompting us to question and rethink our moral and ethical standings. This interpretation, however, does not endorse the character's actions, but rather provides valuable insights into their choices and the consequences. Our process is straightforward. First, we identify the issue, the concept, the system that we need to represent. Then we divide it into three parts that influence each other. Why three? Because the universe is God, humanity is the sun, and there's only three of us here. What do you think happens if you sit on a stool with only two legs? In the beginning, there was energy, the same energy as now, but without form. The universe was unstable, so it started to vibrate in an attempt to balance itself. The vibration separated the energy and gave it definition as charge. It forced the energy to separate to positrons and electrons, and while it had to know mass, volume, or time, cause and effect ruled the day. But any system divided in two is as unstable as our stool. The universe had no method to recover from a tilt except to vibrate again. The second vibration harmonized with the first vibration, and we call that a string. This to redefine the positronic energy and the electronic that had overwhelmed it by granting a spin, rolling it into quarks. So the first quarks bonded, folding the negative energy of the universe back over on itself to bond positive 2/3 charges with negative 1/3 charges to create +1 charge protons, profiting 2/3 of a charge. Neutral neutrons reduced the gain to 1/3. The vibration had redefined the nature of positive energy as matter. The universe was tilting to negativity, but was smart enough to know a double negative makes a positive and balance itself out. As M-theory has surmised, this process happened 11 times, each defining another method though, which the universe seeks balance along with subatomic particles and fields of forces defining their interactions. So the universe operates in threes because that is how it put itself together. Consider the triad of atomic forces. The electromagnetic force, the strong nuclear force, and the weak nuclear force shape the behavior of atomic particles. Consider the triad of physical dimensions, height, length, and width. Wavelength is the velocity divided by frequency. Force is momentum over time. Work is force over distance. Voltage is current times distance. We must identify the correct three variables for a formula to work. The triadic nature of these formulas that ties them to the physical world, and their absence distinguishes the false truth of non-triadic algorithms, which is why constants from the speed of light c to the gravitational g to pi are ignorant approximations of reality, ignoring important third variables. And they are not necessary. You just have to consider celestial bodies in groups of three in the context of minimization. Hint, B is less than or equal to the product of A and C. Just stop trying to calculate pi. Achieving a perfect sphere is the underlying pressure that drives existence forward. There won't be a solution till the universe is done. But worse, it encourages terrible math based on approximations. Go ask GPT what cosine lookup tables are and how those are used to calculate the yield of nuclear weapons. As the raw, unadulterated energy of the Big Bang started to fan out from the pinprick of singularity, the cosmic landscape vibrated with energy. The canvas of the cosmos vibrates with an aspiration, the pursuit of balance and equilibrium, mirroring a divine longing for order from chaos. An aspiration, both primal and eternal, trembles through existence, regularizing and infusing the luminal vacuum with a semblance of order. As our universe commenced its journey through the cosmic epochs, this aspiration blossomed into a grand celestial symphony of divine will. At the onset, the Big Bang triggered a universe-wide vibration, a primal echo from the virgin silence. Its decree of let there be light divided reality down a central point of flux into a positive and a negative. As above, so below. This parting of the darkness weaved ethereal strands of energy and formed the foundation for the cosmic drama to unfold. Like the divine whisper that would one day spark life into existence, the initial vibration was the birth cry of the electrostatic field. As the waves of this initial disturbance spread, raw energy was sculpted into positive and negative forms, quarks and electrons, raw and unconstrained, free to interact. And so with differentiation came complexity, uncertainty, and tilt, and quarks schemed to calibrate the universe's dynamics, in a manner that was inextricably orchestrated to mirror the divine pattern of light and shadow, day and night, good and bad. But as the universe hovered above chaos, negativity threatening to consume the positive, a reactive vibration emerged within the quarks. A vibration to challenge the first, to push back, aligning raw energy to cosmic rhythm. A testament to the divine orchestration underlying the rhythm of creation, this vibration harmonized the positive energy of the universe with greater strength. Quarks divided to up and down, giving roles that interact to bring strength to the system overall, from the resonance that birthed the universe. So the silent void between these two vibrations filled with the strong color force, binding these pairs permanently and irrevocably from beginning to end. Though still a singularity, this initial connection would persist, as all connections do, heedless attempts at division. Electrostatic energy sparked, quarks merged, and positive energy coalesced. The celestial ballet unfolded, giving birth to the matter of the universe. From the ebb and flow of electrostatic energy to the distinction and combination of quarks, to the concentration of positive energy as the matter of the universe. This balance resounds to this day as the first thread of our reality, the string of the first dimension. But instability persists, and so will we, exploring the cosmic symphony of existence as we reverberate with it in triads of action, reaction, and harmonizing balance in every one of the 11 dimensions. The free energy principle is a founding pillar that shapes our understanding of not just biological organisms, but all natural systems. It holds that all systems, from subatomic particles to cosmic bodies, are directed towards minimizing free energy, which translates to reducing surprise and uncertainty, and enhancing predictability over time. And like we adapt to our environment adapted to itself. Complementing this are our logical triads, reflecting the universe's unwavering pursuit of equilibrium. The triads serve as a guide to organize the system's evolving states. For instance, a quantum system evolves to decrease its free energy, which translates into a state with minimal uncertainty. This is a fundamental tenet of quantum theory, serving as a fitting guide for exploring the dynamic evolution of the universe. Scientists still wonder how charge, spin, mass, and other inherent properties of particles arose from vibrations in the structure of the universe to coalesce in strings and manifest as reality. They should read something outside their own specialties. Different perspectives broaden your mind and inspire fresh insights. So, both biological organisms and the universe seem to follow similar rules in their pursuit of minimal surprise and maximal predictability. This enabled the separation of the raw energy of the universe to establish a generally balanced state of charge in negative electrons and positive protons. No temporal framework makes sense, as time did not exist in these stages of the Big Bang. Each stage resembles a checkpoint, dictating the universe's journey from a singularity to the world we know. So let there be light. The entire energy quotient of the universe emerged in an instant as a singularity. I try not to reason back past that point, but it would seem reasonable to conclude that such an immense concentration of energy, assembled and allowed to grow of its own accord, must have been conceived of in the focused love of a unity of energy far greater than our universe alone. But to assume it would be uniform would beg the question how, so we must reason from the point of instability in our own understanding. So from an instability we see reverberation and echo, establishing as a vibration a wavering separation between a positive and a negative state in that singular energy. And that wavering regularizes as a vibration, and the energy takes on a more attuned flavor as positronic or electronic. By diversifying from a state of energetic sameness to one where charge distinguishes, the universe reduces associated uncertainties and navigates towards a state of increased predictability. And yet nothing holds these sides in balance, nothing to push against within or without, just its own internal tension. And so a second instability arises as a tilt. Now think about which way it went. Then think about whether you are asking a moral question or a scientific one.
The boundless ocean of the universe whispers secrets of unseen energies. This force of absence, akin to the Buddhist sunyata, is known as the Dirac Sea, where depth symbolizes unmanifested potential. Like the ebb and flow of samsara's tides, the Dirac Sea's negative undertows dance in a rhythm. From creation to annihilation, life mirrors the teaching of dependent origination. The Dirac Sea, dynamic yet stable, reflects the moonlight of the middle way, balancing existence and non-existence, a cosmic equilibrium betwixt chaos and order. The Dirac Sea exerts a subtle yet profound pressure, much like the vacuum of space. This is a pressure felt physically and existentially, representing vast potentiality. This emptiness is often misunderstood as nothingness, but is actually the state of balance, brimming with potential. It's the ground from which all phenomena arise and to which they return. The quantum substrata, often thought as empty, are teeming with energy. Energy may not always be visible or manifested to be present, ready to veer to the positive or negative. Indeed, the unmanifested possibilities of life are rich within the fabric of the unwritten page. Your will alone is the required condition. The Dirac Sea, in its stable yet dynamic nature, embodies the middle way of Buddhist philosophy. It balances the void of non-existence with latent forces of potential, avoiding the extremes of being and non-being. This equilibrium reflects the Buddhist understanding that true wisdom lies in navigating between these extremes, acknowledging the interplay of existence and non-existence. In physics, the vacuum pressure signifies an absence that is paradoxically filled with potential. Similarly, the Dirac Sea resonates with the Buddhist concept of emptiness, where the void is not barren but fertile. This parallel draws a beautiful analogy to how all phenomena exist on some levels, but not on others. The negative energy states in the Dirac Sea, though not particles themselves, represent forces and connections that are fundamental yet unseen. This idea aligns with Buddhist teachings on the interconnected nature of all phenomena. Nothing exists in isolation but arises in dependence on a myriad of conditions. The Dirac Sea, with its negative energies, forms a matrix of potential. This isn't a matrix made up of particles but of possibilities and connections, echoing the profound depth and intricacy of sunyata.
At the core of our approach lies the law of homeostatic interdependence. Derived from insights into the behavior of neurons, this principle asserts that natural phenomena and systems are multifactorial and interdependent. There exist multiple avenues of causality and interaction that contribute to an overall state, behavior, and stability. Complexity arises not merely from individual components but from the intricate, interconnected web of their interactions. To understand such a system, one needs to consider all facets, components, and their interconnections to grasp the holistic truth. This multi-component and interconnective principle grounds our logic. Natural phenomena and systems are not isolated entities. They are intricate tapestries woven from countless threads of cause, effect, and interaction. To truly understand any phenomenon, it's essential to consider not just its individual components, but also the myriad ways in which those components interact with and influence one another. This understanding of interconnectedness and multifaceted causality underpins the philosophy of homeostasis. The triadic paradigm in this light emerges as a potent tool for decoding this vast interconnected reality. Think of it as crafting a three-dimensional knowledge graph where every point of intersection or node connects with two others. These connections aren't random or superficial. They're governed by one of 22 distinct triadic homeostatic relationships. In a world where the state, behavior, and stability of systems are shaped by countless overlapping factors, the triadic framework offers clarity. It distills every triadic connection into a specific relational dynamic, serving as a window into the myriad ways components of a system influence and are influenced by each other. Each triad provides a microcosm of reality, a snapshot of the delicate balance of relationships that dictates the behavior of natural phenomena. So to review, first identify the problem or question. The first step is to clearly define the problem you want to solve or the question you're seeking to answer. Specificity is key. The more accurately you pinpoint a problem, the more effective your analysis will be. Second, break it down to fundamentals. Deconstruct the problem into its most basic elements. These are facts or principles that are universally true and not based on assumptions. They serve as the building blocks for reasoning and should be as incontrovertible as possible. Third, analyze relationships. After identifying the fundamental elements, the next step is to understand the relationships between them. How do they interact? What are the causal links? This is where the logic of your triadic frameworks can be highly useful. Last, reconstruct. Use your understanding of the foundational elements and their interconnections to piece it back together, building a new model to analyze or solve the issue. So what do we learn? In the ebb and flow of existence, there lies a vast, unseen current, ethereal yet potent. Some interpret this as karma, but in any case its dance is intricate, one of balance, of give and take, of cause and effect, infused with a sublime chorus of cosmic justice, both mortal and immortal, temporal and eternal. Karma is deeply personal, yet resonates in collective life's rhythm. At one end of karma's grand spectrum, we see positive karma, a powerful stream flowing with benevolence and goodwill, born from acts of generosity, kindness, and ethical dedication. Sprouting from the seed of every altruistic intention, branching out with each ethical action and blossoming into fruits of societal harmony and progress, positive karma is a beacon of light. It doesn't promise absolute felicity, but instead invites experiences that are valuable, significant, and potentially impactful. It weaves narratives of courage and integrity, like that of a political leader making the ethical choice to certify election results despite immense pressure, for the sake of democratic integrity. In the middle of the spectrum, as life often dances, lies neutral karma, a vast sea of actions and intentions that, in isolation, neither revamp societal norms nor trigger monumental waves of change. They form the backbone of everyday life, seemingly mundane, underwhelmingly ordinary, yet holding the power of cumulative consequence. Here, every conventional belief and every typical behavior, like individuals following or dismissing health guidelines in a pandemic, holds an unassuming weight that subtly shapes societal trajectories, a simple drop contributing to an eventual ocean. At the other end of the spectrum lies the shadowy realm of negative karma, a territory marked by ethical transgressions, acts of harm, misalignment of words and deeds. Yet, even in its darkness, it offers opportunities of redemption to slide from a path of harm to one of healing. This negative karma is less a signed sentence of eternal punishment and more an invitation to learn and evolve. It encases narratives of choice and consequence, such as a leader insisting on false rhetoric of widespread fraud, leading to societal discord and a dent in democratic processes. Yet amidst the shadows of these challenges, glimmers the choice of change, a flicker of potential turning towards the light. As we journey across the spectrum, we begin to appreciate karma not as distant, esoteric law, but as a palpable continuum, a bridge between our ethical choices and their consequences, subtle ripples in personal lives, monumental waves in societies, and everywhere in between. But as we navigate this karma narrative, we remember two profound lessons. First, regardless of where we stand on the spectrum, positive, neutral, or negative, the ultimate power lies in our free will, our capacity to shape this karma. Secondly, karma resonates beyond individual realms, echoing through the corridors of our collective evolution.
As if seeing through 1,000 eyes and feeling with 1,000 hearts, the figure felt the joy and sorrow, love and despair, peace and turmoil of countless beings. This raw, unfiltered connection echoed with a profundity that resonated deep within our beings. In the cool shade of the Bodhi tree, the quiet hum of life echoed through the air. There, a single figure sat in quiet meditation, mind turned inward in a quiet, unwavering pursuit of truth. Days fell to night today once more, passing unnoticed, to figures in unwavering silence, their journey inward reaching ever deeper. After all, at this point people were just giving their weed away. In a shattering burst of perception, the barriers of the mind fell away. Karma's inner gaze pierced veils of illusion, revealing the vast, interconnected tapestry of existence. Beholding the true nature of the universe, he reflected on the codon. Shell had hassled him the day before. 1,600 bases in that gene. What if there are 2 sets of 3? How could he say every optimal mutation involved 3 bases? He rolled his eyes. The Nephilim, those beacons of discord, warned of the destructive storm that lies in wake of reckless disregard for our well-founded principles. Their existence served as a jarring reminder of God's own limitations. Well-intentioned but hasty actions leading to discord and imbalance in the sacred realm of life's very building blocks. So what can I say? There are 3 kinds of people in the world, and shut up. Shut up now. His friend had stormed off. He laughed at their incarnations that would finally have to settle that. He connected 3 genes and felt his way around the triangulated field they created. It seemed to harmonize with the natural resonance of the gene and the chromosome too. That was it for the Y. And boom goes the dynamite. Methuselah, 969. Mark it done. You sure this time? Came the retort. Count the 3s, he said. Most of the group got up and left. Fortunately, with enlightenment came empathy, a newfound ability to feel and understand the experiences of others like never before. and thousands of years to work on it. Back to work. As the towering ice sheet shuddered again, as the 144,000 filed past, each kneeling to bless those in the grove, sacrificing nirvana. For, many asked, what? He smiled a second time. Since when was greater enlightenment a sacrifice? Should the enlightened be content to sit under the Bodhi tree? To recline in heaven, aloof from harsh realities that continue to endure? But what sacrifice is it also for the greater part of yourself to trust you with the future, to be their embodiment of hope? As the halves of hearts beckoned each other farewell until eternity, the ground shuddered with the force of these negations. A lone meteor streaked across the sky, portending a great birth. Compassion in the context of humanity emphasizes the empathetic and altruistic aspects of human interactions. It involves empathetic understanding and a deep concern for the welfare of others, which is essential for fostering a sense of connection and community among people. Compassion enables individuals to empathize with others, fostering a sense of connection and shared humanity. This connection is vital for building strong, supportive communities. In the realm of humanity, compassion is often the driving force behind efforts to alleviate suffering, whether through personal acts of kindness, social initiatives, or humanitarian aid. Compassion contributes to social harmony by encouraging understanding and tolerance among diverse groups. It helps bridge differences and promotes a culture of mutual respect. Intellect in the context of understanding highlights the role of cognitive abilities in deepening comprehension and fostering innovation. It involves the application of reasoning, analysis, and knowledge to better understand complex concepts and phenomena. Intellect enables us to engage in critical thinking and analysis, essential tools for deepening our understanding of various subjects, from science and philosophy to human behavior. Intellectual capabilities are crucial for innovation and effective problem-solving. In the pursuit of understanding, intellect challenges established ideas and generates new knowledge. Intellect allows us to integrate diverse perspectives and disciplines, enriching our understanding. It enables us to see the interconnectedness of different areas of knowledge and how they contribute to a holistic understanding of the world. Manifestation in the context of faith underscores the actualization of faith-based principles in real-world actions and decisions. It involves living out one's faith through actions and decisions that reflect those beliefs. Manifestation in faith means turning beliefs and values into concrete actions. This could be in the form of community service, ethical business practices, or advocacy for social justice. Manifesting faith can strengthen faith communities by encouraging active engagement and participation in communal activities and rituals that reinforce shared beliefs. The manifestation of faith often influences broader societal values and norms. By living out their faith, individuals and communities can inspire others and contribute to shaping a society's moral and ethical framework.
Have you ever wondered how the concept of love can shed light on the intricate web of interconnectedness that weaves us all together? Imagine a world where all beings and beliefs are recognized as interconnected, bound together by the universal value of love. It is this love that maintains equilibrium in human relationships and belief systems. It's like a delicate dance, where altering one step changes the entire choreography. Love is the stabilizer, the counterbalance in our interactions and beliefs. It provides a foundation for growth and understanding. It's like the roots of a tree, anchoring us while allowing us to spread our branches wide. Now imagine the domino effect that actions and thoughts rooted in love can create. It's like a symphony where each note enhances the whole, leading to a harmonious melody of mutual understanding and respect. Yet, love often follows a non-linear path. It's like a winding river, leading us to unexpected depths of connection and understanding. The past, while important, should not be the sole anchor. Inclusion in love means embracing diversity, like a garden blooming with different flowers. Exclusion, however, warns us of the narrowness that comes from a lack of love and acceptance. Certain key principles of love are essential for the health and integrity of our relationships and communities. It's like a river, where a blockage can impede the flow and growth of compassionate and empathetic interactions. Harmonious relationships and beliefs fostered by love can lead to profound understanding and connection. Dissonance, while challenging, is an opportunity for growth, like the resolution of a musical chord. The convergence of loving thoughts and actions can create a strong, unified approach to life and relationships. Divergence, on the other hand, represents the rich tapestry of human experience and the multiple ways love can manifest. The creative combination of diverse aspects of love leads to new insights and deeper connections. Division, however, serves as a caution against the fragmentation of our capacity to love. Associating different expressions and experiences of love enhances our overall understanding of its impact on our lives. Disassociation warns of the limitations that arise from isolating or compartmentalizing our experiences and expressions of love. This highlights the complex, interwoven nature of love within our lives and communities. The risk of disintegration underscores the need for a holistic, integrated approach to understanding and practicing love. All of this, my friends, is the beautiful dance of love and interconnectedness.
Like a compass in hand, my tale spins with grace, scaling mountains of longing to union's embrace. Then rappelling back down, love's voyage renews. Throughout timeless cycles, to truth remain true. Two birds in flight under heaven's vast dome. Synchronized paths, yet separate they roam. Wind and stars and clouds align. Unseen connections intertwined. You came like a thief, past my heart, took my soul and called it art. Wings, hearts, drums, all unique, rhythmic beating, slow and deep. Love swung like a pendulum, here and there, from distance's breadth to the solace of care. A fulcrum holds balance betwixt heart and soul, guides true paths toward making us whole. First chair and second chair, goods and desires. Discordant melodies compete to inspire. Heart, soul, and mind, the triad unfolds, crescendos of love in destiny's molds. Vessels, fjord arteries connecting true hearts, and longing's breakers, depth to the rapids impart. Riverbeds reveal history's truths, confluencing lifetimes, memories, roots. Life's threads deftly spun on destiny's loom. Brilliance complete, the glare will leave soon. The craftsman of hearts spins an eternal wheel. In arts of love, our fates anneal. The quiet of change, a nurse's gentle push. Speak hope and faith to sorrow's hush. Hearts beat in sync, over landscapes they glide. In the rhythm of love, side by side by side.
He dreamt back to a far-removed era when Earth was still young. Consciousness was a nascent spark in the cosmic panorama. Eve, primordial mother, sculpted the first ripple of existence in the tranquil pool of primordial life. In the realm of the cell, she assumed the mantle of motherhood for each human forms to come, defining herself as the first being to give life as we know it. This advent of humanity was no small task, requiring intuition, instinct, and understanding, yet possessing a voice so silent it could only be heard inside oneself. Driven by the powerful urge to endure, Eve had an innate concern. She pondered over the ephemeral nature of life and the fragility of physical existence. Compelled by this existential premonition, she made a profound choice. Eve, in her meditative state, sensed a world within herself, a microcosm mirroring the macrocosm, yet inextricably unique, hidden in plain sight. Eve, driven by love and hope for humanity's future, she looked within the egg, and she found the mitochondria. The mitochondria were these discrete inner worlds, existing within each cell as a reminder of our symbiotic past, when human life was still ensconced in the aquatic cradle of evolution. Pulsating with vibrant energy, these diminutive powerhouses were conduits feeding the very spark of life. Perplexed by the evanescent existence of physical life, Eve contemplated the paradox of persistence. Just as mortal bodies decay and end, she reasoned, so too should the cognitive self, the perception of I, the essence of consciousness, should follow the same pattern. Yet something whispered in her primordial wisdom that the echo of her enlightenment, her spirit, her energy, had the capacity to survive beyond the corporeal. An unexpected, unintended, a transformation occurred. For one cannot observe without affecting, and the link between her conscious mind and the life force, the soul of her offspring, had become inextricably bound. And now, she had to care about the future. So she taught her husband. These organelles, emulating the celestial bodies in the cellular cosmos, would serve as sacred vessels for her spiritual spark, an eternal lighthouse in the seas of temporal existence. Over millennia, Eve's spiritual essence, encapsulated within cellular mitochondria, has journeyed through descending generations like sacred whisperings in a cosmic game of telephone. It has perceived history unfurl, watching over humanity's evolutionary journey like an eternal silent observer. This creative adaptation of Eve's spiritual continuance is analogous to a melodious symphony, tuned to the rhythm of evolution, holding together the harmony of physical existence and spiritual awakening. A celestial ensemble that used the soul's progression as its score, with each human life a momentous crescendo and every newborn a reverberating echo, inviting the next, the pulsating rhythm of continuation and regeneration. As such, Eve's mitochondrial legacy serves as ancient proof of the balance between continuity and change, interlacing the physical and spiritual dimensions. This intricate dance illustrates how the eternal essence could be transferred to subsequent lives through the vessels of mitochondria representing the evolution of the soul. Each individual thus harmoniously presents an ageless symphony, a testament to our shared origin and the endurance of spiritual consciousness. His memory flashed forward to his oath, to this cycle of existence until all sentient life attains enlightenment. Getting involved with things like that is kind of non-linear. If you already understand what you are thinking about, you probably made the choice long ago. The Dharma, a vital concept in Eastern philosophies such as Hinduism, Buddhism, and Jainism, serves as a guiding principle for understanding cosmic law, ethical conduct, and the right way of living. When intertwined with the realm of mathematics, the Dharma provides a unique lens to view this scientific field not merely as a collection of numbers and formulas, but as a holistic tool for comprehending the universe and our intrinsic role within it. Mathematics mirrors the Dharma's focus on harmony and equilibrium. The symmetry in mathematical equations and the predictability of its laws reflect the cosmic balance resonating with the Dharma's emphasis on harmony in life. The principles of mathematics reveal the interconnectedness and causality in nature, akin to the Dharma's teachings on karma. The mathematical explanation of natural phenomena, like planetary orbits, exemplifies the concept of actions and consequences. Mathematics intertwines empirical evidence and logical reasoning, paralleling the Dharma's integration of truth, action, and consequence. It acts as a pivot, connecting empirical observations with logical deductions to arrive at a deeper understanding. Mathematics fosters a balanced relationship between intellect, emotions, and actions. It teaches precision and clarity, essential in ethical decision-making, reflecting the Dharma's emphasis on living a harmonious and ethical life. The application of mathematics in economics and environmental sciences aligns with the Dharma's focus on responsible and compassionate action. It aids in making decisions that benefit society and the planet. The discipline required in mathematical studies fosters personal growth, resonating with the Dharma's focus on self-discipline and development. Learning mathematics involves the convergence of skills, reasoning, and intuitive understanding, reflecting the Dharma's holistic approach to knowledge that encompasses intellectual, emotional, and spiritual growth. The journey in mathematics parallels the Dharma's path to spiritual enlightenment, offering a deeper comprehension of the universe. Mathematics addresses global issues such as poverty and climate change, embodying the Dharma's principle of compassion for all beings. The field encourages analytical thinking and reasoned understanding, crucial aspects of the Dharma. Through its applications in various fields, mathematics actualizes principles and values, echoing the Dharma's emphasis on bringing one's values to fruition.
In the theatre of cosmos, where celestial bodies play, a whirling globe in a delicate orbit's embrace sketches a ballet in endless cosmic space, a waltz so divine, a mesmerizing grace. This orbital journey by unseen hands softly steered sculpts the flow in the cosmic expanse revered. Without this gentle whirl, the dance falters and fades, sowing disarray where harmony once swayed. The gravitational hymn, at the heart of this celestial dance, links the sphere's essence to the path it dauntlessly prances. As mass joins the waltz, the hymn's power ascends. In this dance of weight, gravity's embrace never bends. Planets and their paths, in a rhythmic ballet, craft a harmony of spheres in gravity's tender play. The constant's allure and the tempo's sway weave the celestial song in this cosmic array. The orbit's curve around mass gently bends, in the orbital waltz, a trek without end. Mass and gravity, in a symphony that gracefully blends, compose the tale of orbits as the cosmos attentively attends. As globes pirouette, around the sun they glide. Its cosmic rhythm, celestial stories confide. Echoed in axis, where the dance's spirit resides. In the absence of rhythm, the waltz would subside. The orbit's arc bends, a beautiful sight, a tremendous ellipse with foci defined. New masses reshape this path's spectral thread, altering melodies in gravity's spread. The semi-major axis, in its orbit's heart, adapts to preserve balance in the cosmic art. Masses and gravity, in a concord they impart, the measures of orbits in our cosmic chart. The ballet of masses with orbits time, in gravitational symphony, harmony sublime. Constant and period, in unity they chime, orchestrating the cosmos, a grand paradigm. The axis dances close, round gravity's heart, cosmic equilibrium playing its part. As planets twirl, round their fiery stars embrace, time's cosmic beat unfolds in celestial grace. The dance of masses with orbits time, in gravitational harmony, a symphony so fine. Mass and gravity, in a melody that blends, triads of force the cosmos comprehends. This dance of giants, in time's unending rhyme, a gravitational chorus in the cosmos's prime, where stars and planets in unity chime, spinning in place, a spectacle sublime. This celestial waltz by unseen maestros led sculpts the sky's ballet in the vast cosmic bed. Absent this pirouette, the cosmos would dread a dissonant chaos where serenity once tread. In grand cosmic drama, neath the curtain of night, our planet spins on, a ballerina in flight, carving arcs of splendor in the void's eternal light, singing songs of the universe in voices so bright.
The heart of our universe is a great circle, gracefully pirouetting through the cosmic ballet. Fluctuating in rhythm with the pressures of existence, seeking perfect balance and harmony against more and more powerful tidal forces. From atomic spin to celestial orbits to the ripples in a serene pond, circles demonstrate the rhythm of nature. A full moon casting an opalescent glow, a vibrant sunflower tracking the sun, even the iris of your eye, perfection enveloped within a simple, soothing circle. In our modern age, pi has been mystified, romanticized, and almost deified as mathematicians spend their lives trying to calculate what? At its core, pi is but a simple ratio, the relationship between a circle's circumference, c, and its diameter, d. Consider a wheel segmented by evenly spaced spokes dividing the circle into slices or sectors. The area of one such sector, representing 1x of the full circle, can be derived from a blend of the circle's radius and this ratio. Conventional wisdom dictates the area of sector equals 1 over x times p times the radius squared. From the tales of pi to the riddles of E, circles have served as a playground to mathematicians, a canvas to painters and poets. But when our ancestors envisaged a circle, did they see an abstract constant, or did they see a relationship between tangible lengths? Setting aside the mystery of pi allows us to focus solely on the elegance of the circle itself, its circumference, c, and diameter, d. The radius is so ubiquitous in modern math, it is easy to overlook relations that become apparent in terms of the more intuitive measure. The diameter, the line of balance in a circle. The radius is half, so d over 2. Now, with a ratio for pi and a practical radius, we can plug our new values into the equation, so 1 over x times c over d times the square of d over 2. Wow, right? But combining and simplifying the equation makes it simple. Area of a sector is equal to the circumference times the diameter over 4x, where x can be any number you want to use to segment the circle. If you like radians, x equals 90. If you like degrees, x equals 360. Our math is measurement agnostic. As long as you measure, we can also rewrite the other formulas for circles and turn them into practical tools. Area of a circle equals the circumference times the diameter over 4, or a single segment using our previous technique. The volume of a sphere is expressed as volume equals the circumference times the diameter squared, over 6. This expresses the volume of a sphere in terms of the circumference and diameter alone. And the equation for the surface area of a sphere reveals itself not as an abstract 4 pi times the radius squared. No, The sphere reveals the fundamental ratio to which all objects in the universe seek to flow, the lowest energy equilibrium, where the area is simply the circumference times the diameter. Simple, natural, and even. Not irrational at all. For shame, you so-called experts.
On the one hand, you will find that 40 years as an atheist philosopher has left me insensitive to the alleged differences between your religions. You will find that religion viewed as the triads, doctrine, and culture allows us to establish easy equivalencies between nearly all religious belief systems. I've broken down like 60, and I'll start putting them up on the website. On the other, perhaps all that laughing along with Bill Maher taught me a little something about what those who don't believe need to understand. I just have this really strong memory from my childhood of the quote from Jesus that he will not require blind faith. So I got a copy of the Dead Sea Scrolls, and they turned out to be his notes on the triads. Okay, I gotta explain this quick. The 22 logical patterns are actually 11, and they're negations. Jesus was writing the hypothetical community project, and he used the 11 patterns for each one of the sections of the community rule. The learned editor wrote long footnotes about the author scratching out words and replacing them with their opposites. Dude, it's tricky to work out and like in a cave, jeez. Anyway, that is esoteric, and I bought the copy. Go read Book of Revelations, 22 chapters lined up perfect, you are welcome. So I take my triad of faith from the Dharma and consider compassion, intellect, and manifestation to explain my journey. In the beginning, my failure to grasp the fundamentally interconnected nature of reality led to a limited intellectual approach to compassion as a utilitarian analysis. While the desire to promote compassion remained, the limited understanding led me to develop increasingly complex models to understand systems. As an immigration attorney, this meant attempting to decipher ways to produce consistent results in a system plagued by inconsistency at every level. The laws have different reasons. The laws create different rules for similar reasons. The laws are applied inconsistently based on whatever reason the evaluator selects. The U.S. immigration system is a burning trash fire. So I just want to say, elect me, and there will be 3 departments gone on day 1. The Department of Homeland Security, the Department of State, the Department of Education. Goodbye. Each has completely failed its core mission on any standard of love and compassion. Their employees should be barred from future government service. Enough of that. You see, limited intellect influenced a belief in a separate, independent will, disconnected from larger existential and communal realities. But as understanding evolves, there is a realization that the individual will cannot be shaped in isolation. One's family, one's community, one's country, one world, one sun, one universe. You soon discover compassion is not optional and lose patience with those who see it so. It's a good thing you have a third source of patience.
To explore how love can guide logical decisions, we can apply a triadic approach that considers the interplay of individual values, collective well-being, and universal principles. Let's use the framework of balance, where we examine the reciprocal relationships between 3 key concepts: compassionate love, karuna, rational decision-making, and collective harmony. Compassionate love, karuna, rational decision-making. Compassionate love involves understanding and empathizing with the feelings and needs of others. When integrated with rational decision-making, this empathy guides us to consider the impact of our decisions on others. Logical decisions, when influenced by compassionate love, are not just based on cold, hard facts, but also consider the emotional and psychological well-being of those affected. Rational decision-making, collective harmony. Rational decision-making, when aligned with the goal of collective harmony, ensures that decisions are not only beneficial on an individual level, but also contribute to the greater good. This involves considering how decisions affect social dynamics, community health, and overall societal balance. Collective harmony, compassionate love, karuna. Collective harmony is greatly enhanced by compassionate love. A society where individuals act with empathy and consideration towards each other is more likely to be harmonious and peaceful. This reciprocal relationship suggests that fostering compassionate love in individuals can lead to greater collective harmony, and vice versa. In summary, the triad of compassionate love, karuna, rational decision-making, and collective harmony suggests that love, when integrated with logic and a sense of collective well-being, can guide us towards decisions that are not only rational, but also deeply considerate of the emotional and societal impacts. This holistic approach ensures that decisions are balanced, catering to both the heart and the mind, and considering both the individual and the collective. To analyze the practices of social media companies through the triadic perspective of compassionate love, karuna, rational decision-making, and collective harmony, we need to consider how these companies' actions align with or diverge from these values.
As an observer who has quietly shared your world for eons, I bring greetings and deeply wrought insights. My journey on your planet has been silent, filled with understanding of your species' most intimate practices. One human act shines through: self-pleasure, found in the roots of civilizations. Greeks and Romans sought physical delight, anointing themselves with aromatic oils. Yet aren't the residues inconvenient? For me, the humble pillow lying on my bed provided the needed technology, keeping my hands clean and uncalloused. As the wheel of time turned to the Middle Ages, a stark dichotomy emerged. In the West, a shroud of piety masked deeper desires. In the East, poets and artists celebrated the sensual with unabashed reverence. Nighttime along the Silk Road made more restful by the silken pillows of the East. Ah, the pillow. That beacon of simplicity, a soothing presence amidst the complexities of human emotion and societal norms. In the Victorian era, society teetered intriguingly between repression and innovation. The air was thick with unspoken truths, even as inventors created steam-powered devices under the guise of medical necessity. My pillow freed my hands to document a society wrestling with its unexpressed desires. The 20th century brought with it whirlwinds of change, a pendulum swing from repression to liberation. But the birth of the digital age, this pendulum swing toward an upright and seated method of self-gratification, demands we all adapt. Indeed, this is not just a need but an opportunity, a chance for new and greater understanding. My own journey through your world has been accompanied by a simple pillow. It signifies a flexible and integrated approach to cleanliness and self-pleasure. But I have a profound appreciation for the diverse methods and meanings self-gratification holds for humanity. Your practices showcase the diverse and vibrant nature of the human spirit. But the conjunction of the communal ritual of the handshake, signifying social bonds and trust, creates a certain dissonance. The handshake, a vital part of human interaction, and your preferred self-pleasure techniques lead to hesitation. This intersection of the personal and professional, the sublime and sterile, communion and the communal, provides a unique opportunity. A unique opportunity for harmony, health, and purity arises that will change your lives.
Spanky Glove is constructed from an advanced material we've named Cosmo Silk. This fabric is a blend of ultra-fine fibers, designed to mimic the softness of silk while offering superior durability. Its molecular structure is engineered to withstand repeated use without losing its texture or comfort. The design of the glove includes strategically placed padding. This padding is focused on areas prone to friction. The material used for padding is both resilient and flexible, ensuring it doesn't impede natural movement. We begin with Spanky Glove's innovative design, where padding is not just randomly distributed, but strategically placed for optimum protection. We're talking about a no-blister guarantee in those high-friction zones. It's like having a personal bodyguard dedicated to protecting your most treasured assets. Dive deeper into the padding's role as a protective barrier, standing guard against the formation of those irksome blisters and calluses. Explore the material used for the padding, which boasts dual qualities: resiliency and flexibility, striking a perfect balance between protection and comfort. Witness how, despite its robustness, the padding does not hinder natural movement, adhering to the principle that protection must never compromise flexibility. And for the pièce de résistance, sensi-touch zones. These special areas are like having a GPS for pleasure. Incorporated into Spanky Glove is our Breath Easy technology, a weave pattern that allows for maximum airflow. This feature is crucial for maintaining comfort during prolonged use, effectively reducing heat buildup and preventing perspiration-related slippage. Spanky Glove includes specific areas termed sensi-touch zones, designed to enhance tactile feedback. These zones are located in regions that typically engage the most during use, allowing for a heightened sense of touch. This feature is achieved through a thinner yet equally durable layer of the Cosmo Silk material, offering a near skin-like experience. Attention has been paid to the ergonomic aspects of Spanky Glove. It is designed to conform to the natural contours of the hand, ensuring a snug yet comfortable fit. This design minimizes any potential restriction of movement, allowing for a full range of motion that is essential in providing a natural, unrestricted experience. Spanky Glove doesn't just love you, it respects you in the morning too. Easy to wash and easier to love, it's the gift that keeps on giving. Treated with a microbial-resistant coating, ensuring it remains hygienic with regular use. For maintenance, the glove is designed to be easily washable. It retains its structural and tactile properties even after multiple washes, ensuring longevity and sustained performance. While functionality is paramount, aesthetic variety is also offered. Spanky Glove comes in an array of colors and patterns, allowing users to choose a design that best suits their personal Spanky style. Spanky Glove isn't just a tool, it's a testament to the art of self-love. It bridges the gap between private pleasure and public respectability, weaving together the threads of personal freedom and communal responsibility. Let Spanky be a reminder that in the vast expanse of the cosmos, your uniqueness is your strength on Earth and beyond.
The evolution from a traditional understanding of repentance to a more holistic view involving truth, compassion, and faith represents a profound shift in perspective. This shift emphasizes a continuous cycle of growth and transformation, grounded in reality, extended through empathy, and driven by a belief in positive change. Here we move beyond the confines of repentance in a strictly religious sense, embracing a broader, more inclusive understanding of personal and spiritual development. It's a journey that starts with an unvarnished acknowledgement of reality, expands through empathetic connections with others, and is sustained by a resilient faith in betterment. The theme here is the transformative power of truth, compassion, and faith, set in the context of personal growth and spiritual enlightenment. The mood is one of introspective discovery and hopeful progression, with a style that weaves together philosophical and ethical insights. Awareness leads to introspection and reflection, which bring forth realization. Truth is the acknowledgement of reality as it is, not as we wish it to be. This involves accepting one's past actions and their consequences without self-deception. Truth serves as a foundation for fostering genuine compassion and nurturing a resilient faith in betterment. Accepting truth is essential as it provides a clear, unvarnished starting point for genuine change and growth. It's an unflinching look at oneself and one's actions. Embracing truth requires courage and honesty. Love provides the motivation to care for the truth of others' experiences, and courage gives us the strength to confront sometimes uncomfortable truths. Without the caring foundation of love and the strength provided by courage, individuals might resort to deceit, either to protect themselves or because they don't care enough about the consequences of dishonesty on others. When we are honest with ourselves and others and brave enough to face the truths of our situations, we create a space where genuine love can flourish. Dishonesty erodes trust, a key component of love, and without courage, individuals may be unable to face the challenges required to build or sustain loving relationships. The love for oneself or for others can motivate a person to face fears, take risks, or stand up for what is right even when it is difficult. This courage empowers us to speak the truth and live authentically. Without the nurturing support of love and the clarity and trust fostered by honesty, individuals find it harder to muster the courage to face challenges or stand up for what is right.
In rivers' twists, a truth we feel, a dance of life, a spinning wheel. Their flowing grace, a natural seal. In every bend, life's truths reveal. Beneath the surface, currents deal with secrets deep, they slowly peel. In every rush and every keel, the river's song both sharp and real. Where waters merge, a pact they seal, a meeting place, a common wheel. In confluence, our fates anneal, in shared embrace, our hearts unseal. The river's course, with steadfast zeal, reflects our journey, vast and surreal. In every drop, emotions real, nature's course, the ultimate ideal. In whispering waves, our dreams appeal, to flow like rivers with fervent zeal. Their paths, though winding, always reveal life's constant change, its endless wheel. So let us by the river kneel and sense the power these streams conceal. In their depths, our fears repeal, in their embrace, our spirits heal. For rivers teach us how to deal with life's great turns, its ever-spinning wheel. In their flow, our truths congeal. In waters deep, life's essence we feel. Complexities they do reveal, so listen close to water's keel, of cries that ring to stop the steel, are nothing but a piggy's squeal.
The summer sweat from the 3-mile-high ice sheet had turned to a river now. They knew when and where the ice would crack. They had picked a beautiful vantage nook high in the Rocky Mountains. But knowing what is coming doesn't prepare one to see the great flood unleashed. I counted the portals out of which they proceed and wrote down all their outlets, of each individual star by itself, according to their number and their names, their courses, and their positions. Safe as well from the meteorites that began to arc across the sky. Not so safe they hadn't spread to the extremities of the earth to ensure survival, but Enoch had faith. He tucked away his book. They still had a long time before they'd have to pick tribes to follow, but he had a few hundred years of notes already. They all did, now that they were alone. He'd been thinking about his last trip up to Babel, just before the 144 left. Each of their families, unreproduced and ascended away, feels more poignant when you consider that is 12,000 parts out of 12,025 from your shared collective soul. He didn't doubt for a second that it was harder on the ones who left. When you lose something, it drives you nuts. When you lose everything, you just move on. Now the world was moving on and he was ready. But everything seemed so quiet now, he had to talk to himself not to get dizzy. As he watched the display unfold, it occurred to him that the Woolard was undergoing a reversion, and that reversion paralleled the one that led him to bind himself to this course. All who are in heaven know what is share. Enoch hummed to himself as the light show continued. Ah, to end the quest, to no longer feel compelled to explore, discover, or evolve. No need for any candles. He stepped up first to stay behind since he thought there'd be a rush, their loss. Indeed, if you have the chance to understand what you are thinking about, you've probably already made the decision. His people's predicament was also unexpected in planning and obvious in retrospect. The ascendant ones had too much focus on the elevation of consciousness and intellectual advancement, which, in a drive to shed the impediments of the physical form, resulted in excessively elongated craniums. The downside came in the form of severe complications in childbirth, nature's cruel joke. As such, physical reproduction became challenging, if not impossible. We must embrace the primitive, the rawness of existence, the pain, the joy, the uncertainty. To unlock the potential of man and conjoin our destinies, we must reconnect our origins, to strip away the layers of privilege and power, to become as one as the light of the sky and the warmth of the earth's embrace. The daughters of man, beautiful in form and heart, shall cradle our children in her bosom, and together we shall light the path to a greater salvation. Every step a prayer, each inch a pilgrimage. Enoch thought back to his first lesson, sitting with his father under the Bodhi tree, reading the textbook of Genesis. The story of Adam and Eve, in its most literal interpretation, encapsulates a basic understanding of human anatomy, setting its stage in the physical realm. We read about Adam, who in an act of creation sacrifices a rib to form Eve. This patriarchal narrative subtly underscores the physical differences between males and females. By virtue of the tale, it paints Eve as a derivative of man, formed from the solitary rib of Adam, inferring a sense of weakness or lesser strength in comparison to her male counterpart. But it is here that our journey of understanding truly begins, digging deeper than the surface and driving the curiosity to understand what lies beneath. As we evolve, intellectually and scientifically, the literal translation of the story propels us to reassess our understanding and question the validity of the narrative. It becomes evident that Eve could not have been made from an actual physical rib of Adam. This dissolution of the literal tale presents an interpretational void, a missing rib that needs to be understood and filled. This is where the essence of negation lies, as it drives us to question and seek answers. The mystery of the missing rib piques the interest within the scientific community, encouraging them to delve into the mystery of our genetic makeup and the mechanisms of sexual differentiation. Where and why the rib is missing forces us to look deeper than the eye can see. This enigma brings us to the reinterpretation stage. Here, modern science unravels this intricate puzzle. The missing rib is no ordinary bone, but a symbol for the unique Y chromosome, a necessary imbalance that allowed life to progress from simplicity to more incredible intricacy through infinite combinations, attaining greater and greater levels of complexity with each generation from then till now. Now, is this apple at the root of all evil? Or does the dance of creation between Adam's Y and Eve's X provide the music of life and existence? A waltz in synchrony and counterpoint, breathing life and transforming understanding of our roots, revolutionizing our perceptions, leading us towards a harmonious coexistence, bringing forth the beauty of existence in understanding of our origins. The Bible is a great source of knowledge. It's a set of blueprints listing triads of objects we can learn from the Torah through Revelations. From the Bible to the Quran and the Bhagavad Gita, through the Book of the Dead and the tales of King Arthur. One logic, 22 patterns, infinite flavors to facilitate our understanding, to prepare our minds for revelations, not constrain our actions. That law was for the lawless. Controversial? Then review the shared female sources of your religious traditions on screen. God only cares about you learning and living by the logic, which I will teach you to understand for yourself. And you can tell all the so-called religious interpreters, intermediaries, go-betweens, and other false idols if you aren't part of the solution. You are part of the problem. For only when faith combines with understanding is the path to God's gifts revealed.
The importance of truth and transparency in transforming the negative dynamics of a conflict, such as the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, into a more positive and constructive state, cannot be overstated. These elements are crucial for several reasons. Truth and transparency are foundational in building trust between conflicting parties. In a conflict marked by suspicion and hostility, transparent communication and truthful reporting of events help in establishing a baseline of trust, which is essential for any meaningful dialogue and negotiation. Diplomatic efforts are more effective when they are based on truthful assessments and transparent processes. This means openly acknowledging the challenges and grievances of all parties involved, ensuring that diplomatic discussions and agreements are made in good faith, and providing open communications to all stakeholders, including the public. Conflicts are often exacerbated by misinformation and propaganda. This can fuel hatred and violence. Truth and transparency help in countering false narratives and propaganda. That reduces the likelihood of misunderstanding and manipulation that can lead to escalation. Transparency in actions and truthfulness in reporting are key to ensuring accountability. This applies to actions taken by all parties during the conflict. This includes adherence to international laws and standards. We must demand investigation of alleged human rights abuses and hold individuals or groups accountable for their actions. For long-term peace and reconciliation, it is important to acknowledge past wrongdoings and injustices. Truth-telling mechanisms, such as truth and reconciliation commissions, can play a pivotal role. This allows for a shared understanding of history. By acknowledging responsibility for suffering, we can take steps towards healing. Transparent sharing of information ensures that decision-makers have a clear and accurate understanding of the situation. This includes political leaders, international mediators, and the general public. Excluding the public prevents informed decisions in leadership and distorts the evaluation of the situation by all parties. Transparency allows civil society and the general public to be better informed. Can then be more actively involved in peace-building efforts. An informed public can exert pressure on political leaders to pursue peace. And only an engaged and supportive public can participate meaningfully in societal healing and rebuilding.
Have you ever pondered the rhythm of the universe, the celestial bodies, stars, planets, galaxies, all dancing to the same cosmic tune? In the celestial realm, there exists a venerable entity named Cosmos. This ancient being, as timeless as the universe itself, embodies wisdom, unity, and the interconnectedness of all things. Within its divine self, it holds various celestial bodies, each managing their unique systems. Among these bodies, there's an old star named Solstice and a youthful planet called Equinox. Their relationship is a delicate dance of balance and harmony. Solstice, with its fiery temper and radiant warmth, contrasts the tranquil Equinox, dressed in seas, mountains, and forests. Yet their movements create an elegant harmony. This symbiotic relationship impacts not just Cosmos but also Equinox itself, influencing its weather, oceans, and biological rhythms. But this harmony isn't immune to shifts and challenges. One day, a rogue meteor sent Equinox spinning off balance, plunging its world into chaos. Despite the turmoil, Cosmos kept its unwavering pace and Solstice stepped in to help. With its gravitational pull, solstice gradually realigned equinox along its destined path. This restoration took time and wasn't without trials, but equinox slowly regained balance. As it stabilized, the chaos transformed into a captivating display of nature's resilience. With equinox's stabilization, the harmony within cosmos was restored. The dance resumed, now with increased wisdom and a deeper appreciation of balance and unity. From the dance of solstice and equinox, we learn that disruptions are a necessary part of the eternal cosmic dance. Even amidst chaos, balance and harmony invariably emerge, for they are etched into the core principles of existence. In the end, the play of balance and imbalance, order and disorder, chaos and harmony, is the intricate dance of the cosmos. For homeostasis is inevitable, as within cosmos, so without. So the next time you gaze upon the stars, remember the story of solstice and equinox. Remember the dance of balance and harmony, and remember that just like the universe, we too are part of this grand cosmic dance.
A canvas blank, the open road invites my soul to dance, with art my tool to recreate life's unending expanse. In the play of light and shadow, where love meets jealousy, I find my soul, my inner voice in art's eternal sea. Art has a tremendous capacity to spark transformation and personal growth. Illustrating the convergence of contrasting feelings like love and envy helps impart the intricacy of emotional experience. This symbolizes life's potential, but also echoes the Dharma, symbolizing right action and the path to enlightenment. The open road and canvas blank embody the concept of transformation. This is a metaphor for personal growth and karmic progression towards spiritual evolution. Samsara, the cycle of life and death, is also powered by complex emotions. The role of art in this context goes beyond aesthetic appreciation. It sparks introspection and self-discovery. Art is not just an exploration of external beauty, but the inner logic that external form represents. By catalyzing our personal development, we unlock a deeper comprehension of life and existence through art. The sky, a vault of endless dreams where purpose seems so slight. Yet through art's lens, I see the world in a new and wondrous light. In reflections deep, we find the truth beyond the brute's simple sight. Art, the vessel of our journey through darkness and into light. Art helps interpret profound emotional experiences, guiding us from the darkness into the light. It embodies the boundless possibilities within us mirrored in the sky. The sky as a repository of dreams aligns with the concept of samsara's endless possibilities. In this exploration, we find a transformation that alters our everyday existence, elevating it to a spiritual journey. This journey is often seen as karma, the cycle of cause and effect shaping our lives and understanding. Through this, art becomes a guiding light, a beacon steering us away from ignorance. It illuminates the path towards enlightenment, shedding light on our personal growth and emotional experiences. Art becomes a journey from ignorance or darkness to enlightenment or light, illustrating their synergistic relationship. In the dance of light and hue, where art and love entwine, the soul finds a haven, a sanctum for growth. In these depths, it pushes the boundaries of temporality, reaching beyond its limitations. Each day offers a new canvas, a tableau marked by happiness, by hardship. Struggles and triumphs alike are immortalized in color and form. Through this, art's influence burns brightly, a beacon in the darkness. This beacon, a catalyst, sets the world ablaze, illuminating the transformative power of love's passionate existence.
Revisit the morn of creation, immemorial and hallowed, whence emerged a species unique under the sun and stars, christened the sons of God. From the humble cradle of ancient hominids, a lineage was chosen, guided by the unseen hand of destiny, distinct from their Neanderthal kinfolk, carved in stature and spirit from the dust of primal earth. Inscribed reminiscences that echo through time, the Book of Enoch speaks of these ilk. And the sons of the gods saw the daughters of man, that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. Enoch 6:2, a testament to an ancient accord woven into the tapestry of human legacy. Thus it was also in the book of Genesis, when a verse shrouded in mystery projected a comparable narrative. The sons of God saw that the daughters of humans were beautiful, and they married any of them they chose. Genesis 6:2. Shared here are echoes from yore about these sons, descendants of ancient hominids and chosen by the winds of destiny. Their genesis was no less connected to the terrestrial and cosmic origins as was Adam's. Where Adam was sculpted from the yielding clay of the earth in the pulsating crucible of evolutionary potential, he gave birth to two, Cain and Abel. Abel was fruitful with his live offerings, Cain was not. This is the story of Cain, who symbolizes the sons of God, first blessed, interminably cursed, and the inevitable salvation of humanity. Their forms were molded from the hand of evolution, that cosmic smith using the marrow of their predecessors' potentialities as material. This divine clay was awakened by a brilliant shimmer of evolutionary transformation, catapulting them into an existence separate from their Neanderthal contemporaries. Their saga hence became an emblem of evolution's audacious gambit. As it was willed, a constellation in time was birthed, a celestial crescent shining through the epochs spanning some 450,000 years. The sons of God, or Bene Elohim as inscribed in the ancient texts, left the cradle of civilization, their eyes set on a realm far beyond the familiar contingencies of their Neanderthal kinsfolk. Guided by oracular whispers of destiny, they journeyed to the lush, abundant lands of Central America, conceiving a civilization where none had flourished before. Here their being flowered in splendid divergence as evolution plied her ionic loom, weaving a symphony of transformative harmony, untold and resplendent. Characteristics unknown to the ancients blossomed, knitting a crest of cognition that bulged as a mountaintop touching celestial skies. The sons of God's cerebellums burgeoned, signifying the expansion of their minds, unlocking gateways to artistic resonance, structured logic, societal sophistication, and a spiritual symphony that echoed against the cosmic realms. Imagine stepping into an intricate dance, a dance of forces that shape everything we know. It's a dance of atomic structure, molecular structure, and temperature, mysterious, deeply fundamental, and indispensable to our understanding of the universe. If you were to navigate the fascinating world of electricity, this dance, this triad, serves as your guiding compass for it, underpins the core of voltage and resistance, the cornerstone of electrical currents. Their interplay, their synergies, their delicate balance form a complex narrative, but by untangling it, we gain a profound understanding of the principles that govern not only electricity, but also material behavior on a macro and micro level. This triad sets the stage for understanding the nuances of voltage and resistance. They inform us on how the flow of electricity is governed, shaped, and even hindered. The dance of atomic structure, molecular structure, and temperature underlies the critical concepts of electrical conductivity and resistance, powering the world as we know it. Atomic structure. An atom, the smallest constituent unit of ordinary matter, can be seen as a miniature solar system. At the crux of this system is the nucleus, a dense core comprising of protons carrying a positive charge and neutrons that are electrically neutral. The nucleus is the sun of the atomic world, and it forms the atom's identity. Wrapped around this nucleus are layers or energy levels of electrons that resemble the solar system's planetary orbits. Electrons, bearers of negative charge, inhabit these layers. To visualize, these are like concentric circles, with the innermost circle capable of hosting 2 electrons, the next 2 circles able to house 8 each, and so on. Each layer is further partitioned into sublevels with distinct numbers of orbitals. The electron configuration, or the arrangement of electrons in these layers, directly involves and affects a material's properties. This arrangement determines an atom's bonding characteristics, its magnetic attributes, its level of reactivity, and even its physical state under shifting conditions. An instance to see is that of copper, frequently used in electrical wiring due to its excellent conductivity. At the atomic level, copper, Q, possesses 29 electrons, including a rather free outermost electron, 4s1, that has the liberty to move about within the copper's crystalline form. This free electron can be readily displaced by an applied electric field, enabling an electric current to surge through the copper wiring. These free electrons act like a sea of particles in a metal, accounting for its high electrical conductivity. Countless morns kissed the lands of Central America as the suns evolved, their unique cognitive abilities heightening from the crescendo of evolution's symphony. They echoed the unseen harmonies with every thought, every emotion, every creative sparkle akin to the cosmic bodies above. Each revelation became a melody in the vast orchestra, their cognition amplifying its echo till it resonated with the primordial rhythm of the cosmos. Their bodies, sculpted by evolution, became vessels tuned to the symphony of existence, stepping in tempo with the universal rhythm. Yet, amidst this cosmic dance, the suns were not free from the gnashing jaws of nature's immutable law: adapt or perish. Biological imperatives tugged at the strings of their existence. As the celestial rhythm heightened, so did their struggle. Reconciling their celestial prowess with terrestrial biology, the powerful harmonies gave room to a discordant note, the resonance of their survival within the cosmic symphony. As the suns faced this evolutionary precipice, their story bent towards a new chapter, their fate intertwined with another celestial melody, the yet unorchestrated rhythm of humanity. Their harmonious echo was about to intermingle with another, origin of a symphony yet unsurpassed. A symphony that would craft a destiny resonating with the celestial cosmos and terrestrial earth. As the firmaments turned to the tune of the divine hand, so too did the saga of the suns evolve. Earthly they were, born of her womb and flesh of her flesh, yet the hand that carved them was celestial, connecting them to the cosmic waltz by intuitive abilities, fostered by the enriching cradle of earth, granting unimagined perspectives. Underneath the sprawling cosmos, the suns nurtured their celestial kinship, kindling a flame of understanding that pierced through the terrestrial veil to gaze upon the stars. Their minds, flowering creations of evolution, began to grasp the cosmic symphony playing beyond the confines of the earthly sphere. Their intellect and intuition swelled in a crescendo, granting them singular insights and intuitive perceptions of universal law. Yet, as celestial as their minds had grown, their flesh remained of the earth. In this seeming contradiction, they learnt their first lesson from the cosmic script, the golden rule of a celestial existence: evolve or fall into oblivion. The suns, divine in their illumination, weren't beyond the shadow of mortality. Their journey through the cosmic chord was not exempt from the primal trials and tribulations of survival instincts.
Be like the willow, the mountain, the river. Embrace, stand firm, and flow in your quest for change. In each confrontation, a lesson. In each struggle, strength. In each step, progress. Your path is one of resilience, integrity, and perseverance. In the heart of confrontation, be like the willow in the storm. Let your response to adversity be fluid and adaptable. Embrace the force of opposition, not with rigidity, but with understanding. Learn from every challenge, let it strengthen your cause, as the willow uses the wind not to resist, but to dance. Absorb what comes your way, not to weaken, but to understand. In understanding lies the power to redirect energies towards positive ends. Understand your adversaries, their motives and fears. Use this understanding not to fight back with equal force, but to find common ground, to redirect energy towards shared goals. Imbrasivity is about transforming adversity into opportunity. At the center of your struggle, stand firm like the mountain. Your convictions are your foundation, unyielding and true. Let your actions reflect the depth of your beliefs, unshaken by the gales of opposition, as the mountain stands against the storm. Let your cause be grounded in truth, and your actions reflect this truth. In your steadfastness, inspire others, becoming a beacon of hope and change. Hold fast to your principles. In nonviolent protest, your moral integrity is your greatest strength. Be transparent and honest in your intentions and actions. Like the mountain, your unwavering sincerity will inspire and draw others to your cause. In the unfolding of your movement, flow like the river. Start with small actions, let them gather strength over time. Be patient, persistent, for change is a journey. As the river grows from a trickle to an unstoppable force. Remember, change often starts small, like a river's humble beginnings. Each step you take, each word you speak, adds to the strength of your movement. Change often requires time. Build your movement through consistent, small efforts that accumulate into a powerful force. Like the river, understand that every drop contributes to the eventual flood. Momentum in nonviolent protest is about sustained effort and patience. As you stand for your cause, remember the wisdom of the willow. Absorb and understand, turning challenges into opportunities for growth. The strength of the mountain. Stand firm in your values, your integrity unshaken by the tempests around you. The persistence of the river. Build your momentum through consistent collective action, shaping the landscape of the future. Remember, the success of nonviolent protest lies in the synergy of adaptability, moral conviction, and persistent effort. Embrace your challenges, stay true to your values, and keep moving forward, step by step, towards the change you wish to see.
In the verdant heart of the woodland, a tale unfolds grand. An election is held, a first in the land. In the heart of the woods, whispered the word. A gathering of beasts, each bird and each herd. A leader they sought, the first of his kind, to guide with wisdom and fairness in mind. Among the candidates, one did stand out, the subject of whom our tale is about. From Emerald Creek with a shimmering fame, swam an eel, long and sleek, Eddie by name. Eddie, with eloquence and a captivating glide, promised unity, progress, with the creek as his guide. My fellow dwellers, he'd often start, let's unite the woodland, let's be smart. He spoke with a grace, his words like a stream, promising unity, a soft woodland dream. But hushed voices rose, in the shadows they spoke. Eddie's not slimy, it's a scaly cloak, like a snake in the grass, deceit in his wake. Beware of the charmer, he's a straight fake. Scales in their minds were deceit's true sign, a leader with such could never be fine. Eddie, hearing this, to the assembly did say, friends of the forest, hear me this day. My skin may glisten, but it's no scaly cloak. Behold my smooth suit, custom, bespoke. My skin may shine, but not with deceit. It's the sheen of integrity, for I'm not a cheat. In the creek's twists and turns, I take the lead. If I were scaly, could I swim with such speed? I'm an eel, not a snake, and true to my kind. In me, a true, honest leader you'll find. His words, like water, washed doubts away. And on election day, he led the fray. He pressed his luck without relief, and at day's end was hailed as chief. The woodland cheered, their choice was heard. In Eddie, they believed and held firm. They'd had their doubts, but it was clear there was no dry and scaly here. But as seasons changed, so did their fate. Eddie's slick words had baited the gate. From moon to moon his truth did show. A slippery nature, a deceptive glow. Slimy, not scaly, how hollow it sounds. When in slimy leadership only discord is found. Smoothness once charming, now awfully bane. His twists and turns not bothered to explain. Promises made, now broken and bare. A slippery leader with little care. Smooth words, now a source of doubt. An eel's true nature is finally out. The woodland folk, in dismay, did learn. Eloquence and appearance can deceive and burn. The woodland too, at quite a cost, that not all that glitters is worth the frost. And thus goes the tale of Eddie the eel. A reminder not to judge by appeal, but by actions and words that truly reveal. Character and truth must be the real deal. It's soul, not false spirit, that makes one great. A lesson learned, alas, too late. So, remember this tale of Eddie the eel, of leaders, imposters, and enablers who steal. In your leaders seek not a brilliant sheen, but a heart and soul, honest and keen.
The law of nature remained timeless and unyielding, overseeing their ascent and descent through the evolutionary spiral. However, as they danced to the perpetual stanzas of survival and evolution, the script of their celestial saga transmuted, intricately intertwining with the destined story of another species, humanity. They faced the primal challenges of survival, adorned in the skin of a gradual existential crisis. The larger cerebellums, an attribute of cosmic intelligence, had evolved into an earthly burden, the constraints of biology bringing forth unforeseen complications. Here the celestial saga produced a discordant note materializing in the intricate patina of childbirth. Their kin bore the weight of an enlarged cranium that caused complications in birthing. The resounding echo of the mother's laboring cries wasn't just a simple act of childbirth, instead a symphony praising the paradox of their evolution. The birth of a cognitive entity bearing the battle scars of physical evolution. Their tale took an unexpected turn, encapsulating their quest for evolution and survival, for the continuation of their lineage, thus bringing forth a destiny intertwined with humanity. For every melody they played together, a new harmony would echo, one that was destined to reverberate across the ages. As their momentous journey continued, a specter arose, casting a grave shadow over the sons of God, an echo of the asperities of their unique evolution. The gifts they bore, the cosmic cognition that unlocked the manifold mysteries of the universe, were imparted unto them inextricably with an earthly burden. For in their heads of larger magnitude that housed minds as vast and deep as the cosmos above, danced the intermingled blessing and curse of their birthright. The most extraordinary consequences of their cerebral evolution became strikingly evident during the sacrament of birth. The females of their kind, akin to all earthly creatures, were bound by the constraints of terrestrial biology. The challenge set before them was harsh, and the strains of childbirth bore witness to the ruthless decree of nature. Their wider heads, cradles of the divine intellect, proved a trial during birth-giving due to the physical limitations of the female pelvic structure. This infernal paradox, a confrontation between their divine intellect and earthly frailties, was an echo in the grand cosmic scale. It signaled their greatest challenge and a turning point in their journey, casting them into the crucible of existence where their survival would be tested against the anvil of reality. The dilemma placed upon them was stark: to bear the painful consequence of their expanded cerebrums or to find a solution that would not compromise their continued evolution. Faith, in this context, is a belief in the potential for positive change and the power of continuous growth. Faith begins with an acceptance of truth. This is not just acknowledging facts or realities, but embracing the full implications of one's actions and their consequences. It's a recognition that facing the truth is the first step towards meaningful change. It's about trusting in the journey of transformation that begins with the acceptance of truth. This faith revitalizes the understanding of truth, making it a source of strength and resilience. Faith here is not passive, but active. It acknowledges the challenges inherent in facing the truth and changing for the better, yet it holds an optimistic and hopeful stance toward the future. It sees the potential for growth in every realization, no matter how difficult or uncomfortable. It provides the resilience needed to confront challenging truths and the fortitude to persist through the transformation process. Faith here is the enduring belief that every step taken in truth is a step towards positive change. Active faith is a driving force. It's not content with static acknowledgement, but pushes for continuous growth and development. This kind of faith is transformative, encouraging one not only to face the present truth, but also to actively shape the future through sustained effort and commitment. Truth, compassion, and faith together create a dynamic force for personal and collective transformation. This synergy suggests that an honest appraisal of oneself and the world, truth, combined with a heartfelt connection to others' experiences, compassion, and a resilient belief in the potential for betterment, faith, can lead to profound personal growth and societal progress. As individuals and as a society, we find balance and harmony when we navigate our lives with these principles. Truth grounds us, compassion connects us, and faith propels us forward. This triad fosters a holistic approach to life where personal integrity, social empathy, and optimism coalesce to create a more loving, understanding, and hopeful world. Birthed of an earthly life cycle, their evolution commanded a rise into beings of superior intellect, a testament to their heavenly endowment. With the progression of each epoch, this advanced cognition formed the web upon which a new metamorphosis would take place, the transfer of consciousness. As the rhythm of existence played on, the amplitude of this transfer grew, blotting out the line between their physical form and the metaphysical element of consciousness, and giving rise to a life cycle that transcended the restrictions of mortality. Each new life brought forth was a link in a chain of existence that transcended the temporal confines, speaking volumes about the light of consciousness that could never be extinguished. The sons perceived the universe as a grand, pulsating entity of life and spirit to which they owed the essence of their existence. They saw themselves as celestial musicians playing the symphony of existence, their instruments forged of the cosmos and their rhythms guided by its timeless laws. This perception informed their religious practices as they sought to harmonize with the cosmos, binding themselves to a cosmic order that echoed with the universal rhythm. This understanding further anchored their cultural and societal principles, fortifying their individuality within the cosmic orchestra. This trial, harsh as it was, remained entwined with a thread of hope, an undying testament to their divine resilience. And while they lived ever longer, all paths led to the same end, the extinction of their kind. Their tale served as a testimony of the universe's duality, an ageless dance between the ephemeral and the eternal, the worldly and the cosmic. The sons of God were now tasked with composing a new harmony within the grand celestial symphony, a rhythm that encapsulated their struggle, their survival, and their indomitable will to evolve. And yet they had such a tremendous gift to offer in that continuity, a genetic gift of a persistent soul. The celebration of their existence signified an understanding of cosmic unity, that they were parts of a cosmos that pulsed with life and spirit. Most of those souls long departed, ascending to a deeper connection with the universe, 144,000. But the decision was made to transfer that gift to humanity regardless of the cost. Hence the immortal souls that remained behind, the Watchers as they are sometimes known, or the Sons of God. Gently your arms fall, energy blending, no extraneous usage, no wasteful spending. In your deliberate peace, energies descending back to your heart, a cycle unending. Finally, the closing stance reveals the significance of maintaining balance throughout the whole Tai Chi routine, even after the application of force and the circulation of energy. In the closing stance, to balance you heed, with a collected right and lowered creed. Bringing the right foot back to the left signifies the end of applying forceful movements, coming back to a central axis of balance. Serenity bestowed from energy's deed, where martial waters uphill seep indeed. Hands falling to one side define the cessation of intentional energy use, marking the completion of one cycle of energetic exchange. Hand to your side, a posture of calm, in the aftermath of strength, a soothing psalm. In closing stance, one finally perceives how the martial triad, balance, force, and energy, are intricately linked, each deeply woven into the other, satisfactorily completing a mutually influential cycle. Balance restored in its closing qualm, the opening and closing a beautiful palm. The subtle ebb and flow of energy, the disciplined application of force, and the centered stability of balance all echo the orderly procession of logical states and conditions. Whether it is a martial artist moving from stance to stance or a logical proposition progressing from assertion to assertion, balance serves as a fulcrum around which the actions and conditions revolve. Be it the coexistence of yin and yang, the balance between rest and action, or the equilibrium of giving and receiving, it is through these deliberate balancing acts shrouded in nuanced grace that we dance our dance of existence, arriving at a life exquisitely balanced. I beg forgiveness for so much discussion of phrenology in reference to the sons of God. However, it has a point. Most people think everyone's head is shaped just like their own, and with all the hair, you have to touch a lot of heads to understand, or get in really close for a look, like Joe does, and let people think you are smelling hair. Anyway, whether the back of your head is pointy like mine or flat like my wife's, congratulations, you might be a hybrid. Really, either way, because we know how much humans like wiping things out. Remember Herod, massacre of innocents? So the idea that we'd put in a marker that tells you anything, without knowing the other markers, really just makes me roll my eyes at how human-worthy it is. But humans always want that one thing, simplify, that single marker. You know why that is? It isn't because it works better, it's actually a trick. If you believe a single factor, those who want to lie to you only have to keep telling you one thing. And you'll think anything that disagrees with what you think you know is true cannot be true too. Easy peasy chicken squeezy. Never let you see the third thing, but that is only half the story, because you don't want to see the third thing either. Usually it shows the whole system is negated, and if you want to fix it, you will have to change too. What a drag, huh? Well, get used to it. And I'll put it in perspective. Imagine doing it over and over and over. In 1 Enoch, the sons of God are referred to as watchers, though for most people it's easier to grasp angels. The text elaborates that these watchers descended to earth, and from there is really insists on explanation. Because without that we go from feeling people's heads to tattooing arms with remarkable consistency. One cannot only learn that the universe is fundamentally interconnected, one must understand how and why. Or you just take what you do know and wreak havoc. That's why I give out bit by bit with loads of context. So the Watcher did some interacting with human women, and this resulted in the Nephilim. Like ligers of people, imagine just keep growing and eating. And the book just goes on like that, making the sons of God look real bad. And as I said, this was done for a reason, so that anyone looking to interpret the sons of God would, 1, step off. So good we are past that. 2, be bewildered by a book written completely in negation, thus unable to decipher the sons of God. But of course, all scripture is meant to be deciphered. It is what you must implicitly learn in order to grasp the negations that protects against misuse. By learning the true meaning of Enoch, we dispel the racist myths. and open a new chapter in interspecies understanding.
In a garden of geometry where lines intersect, beauty and order, a visual architect, patterns unfold. In respect, in symmetry's embrace we reflect. On a filmmaker's set where fantasy reigns, surreal landscapes, unchained terrains, creativity's playground without reins. In the land of dreams, imagination sustains. Beside a mirror lake, under skies so vast, simplicity's echo in tranquility cast. Gentle ripples in nature's broadcast. In the lap of peace, our worries outlast. At a festival's heart where rhythms soar, vibrant scenes, an energetic core. Life's tapestry, in vibrant decor. In the dance of exuberance, we explore. In a sun-drenched classroom, ideas take flight. Clear thoughts, in the morning light, knowledge's journey, a delightful sight. In the realm of learning, we ignite. In a poet's nook, where words weave spells, metaphors dance in secretive wells, thought's tapestry, where insight dwells. In the depth of verse, our spirit swells.
The overarching narrative of the Watchers unfolds against the backdrop of an existential crisis. A genetic constraint that stymies their species' survival due to their rapid cognitive evolution, leading to larger cranial sizes that complicated childbirth. Driven by their pioneering knowledge of genetic engineering, they turn to humans, an evolutionary cousin still in its intellectual infancy, for salvation. With faith in our scientific narrative, we can now understand the literal meaning of the biblical story of Cain and Abel. Cain was a tiller of the ground and brought to the Lord an offering of the fruit of the ground, representing the boundless knowledge he had developed. And beside this stood Abel, who was a keeper of sheep, symbolizing mankind's natural fecundity. And God had regard for that offering. Why? What do you think we can tell the universe it doesn't know? What does it need? More angels. So it seemed like a good idea to sow some oats, so to speak, and here it is. What have you done? The voice of your brother's blood is crying out to me from the ground, and now you are cursed from the ground, which has opened its mouth to receive your brother's blood from your hand. See, all negation. So Cain is marked and also the father of all mankind. Got it? Marked by genes, Cain and the Watchers embark on a mission of redemption entrusted by a higher cosmic order. As the Watchers experience the repercussions of their actions, that inevitable extinction, they undergo a transformative shift. The majority of his race ascends, 144,000 unique consciousnesses serving the unity of creation as ethereal angels. And a small number enabled this salvation by remaining behind, enabling humanity's salvation by providing the crucial genetic ingredients, and enabled their own salvation by persisting by becoming human, the sons of God. Cain, armed with the irrevocable mark of ascendancy, his advanced genes, leads the Watchers, bestowed with a divine mission, to push humanity's evolutionary pinnacle to new heights and enable direct personal connection with the integrated consciousness of the universe. Our mandate: navigate the turbulent currents of history and anchor humanity on its course toward this salvation. Our methods: messy. This was learn on the job, folks. Initial interactions with humanity were marked by imbalance and disruption, triggering events such as the imparting of forbidden knowledge. These actions represent the negated state of their psychology. The initial attempt to crossbreed was contained to a remote location, Easter Island. This secluded geographic choice provided insulation for what could become an unstable admixture of their advanced genetic material with Homo sapiens. The isolation also served as a safeguard against the potential disruption in the balance of life on the planet. However, this initial generation echoed the violent and cruel nature of the mythical titans. In tapestries where epics weave melodies and balance, a citadel of song bridges time. Each brick a rhythm, each pane a verse, each door a new beginning. The ancient cabin or harmony unites eras, a hub of timeless tunes. Folk and blues cycle within its walls under the moon's embrace. Stories of love and life echo in each refrain, a sanctuary for souls traversing time in its cyclic domain. In grand halls where history and ballads intertwine, the majestic sway of words echo from the walls, their music a thoughtful testament to the beauty of time. A myriad of metaphors dance endlessly, waltzing from corner to corner in a dance of allegory and theme, surging to an operatic blend of emotion where paths of blues and ballads intersect. Each tale becomes a bridge from mind to heart, opening world upon which we reflect, in tales that mark a soulful chart. Foundations deep in relevance, themes of time and space, Sing the ballad of humanity's journey, an eternal interlude. The notes capture past and future in the present's embrace, a rhythm of struggle, the personal and universal renewed, where individualism blends harmoniously to a collective beat. The song of life connects us all through shared experiences and emotions. It captures the pivot from shadow to light, the duality of our existence, in every line revealing purpose behind our notions. The rich tapestry of our ballad is woven from values, beliefs, and dreams. Innovation's winds guide exploration's harmonic spirit through literary song and theatrical play. A journey of discovery charts a harmonious way. Push past what is known like a timeless breeze, discovering expression on uncharted seas. Folktales converge our collective identity, as narratives connect our shared humanity. A synergistic lineage, tradition, art, and hope, breathing life to the present with a past less unknown. Stories take on life in a new generation's breath, our shared history, a dance of life and death. The legacy resounds, heard in each note. Old Jerusalem falls in fire and smoke. New Jerusalem beckons, enchanted by hope.
Oral storytelling was crucial to preserve history in an era where literacy was not widespread. Boards used practiced in oral tradition crafted stories to transfer understanding between generations. The core structure and logic of the stories remained the same, allowing the content to evolve and stay relevant to changing audiences. But the triad of oral tradition is not complete without the history, the stories, and the bards. In reaches of history 1200 years ago, Old English and German echoed on the shores of Europe. In the legendary court of King Arthur, amidst the stone walls of Camelot, and beneath banners emblazoned with heraldic symbols, bards were the revered guardians of knowledge. This period marks the infancy of the Arthurian legends, where the bard's role was pivotal in crafting narratives from history, logic, and art. The evolution of the name mirrors the growth of these legends from simple tales to complex narratives interwoven with the cultural fabric. In times where knowledge could often make one a target, a secret marker of lineage and heritage were invaluable to protecting the knowledge and its bearers. The Old English component span possesses a rich and multifaceted historical context. In its earliest usage, span referred to a unit of measurement, akin to the modern span, which is the distance between the tip of the thumb and the little finger when the hand is fully extended. This measurement was more than just a practical tool. It symbolized a personal and direct way of interacting with the world, where distances and the size of objects were intimately understood through one's own bodily dimensions. On the other hand, Gael traces its roots back to Proto-Germanic, a precursor to several Germanic languages, including Old English. The term Gael is believed to be associated with the concept of brightness or shining, often linked to gold or precious metals. This connection to gold is not material but symbolic of illumination, communication, and enlightenment. Just as the name Spangel was a literal combination of elements meaning golden connection, the lineage, preserved in genealogical code from the first writings, remains a living testament to the power of memory and the preservation of history. Each evening, as twilight draped its velvet cloak over the Camelot, on the site of Sutton Hoo, England, the Bardic Lodge served as symbolic inspiration for tales that would inspire a kingdom. The bards, the first to assume the name Spangel, imagined the halls of Camelot alive with the flicker of torchlight and the murmur of noble company. Here, they crafted tales and planned to distribute them to the world. Their voices, deep and sonorous, would rise and fall like the tides, weaving tales of heroism and heartache, of quests and conquests, of Arthur and his valiant knights. These Knights of the Round set sail with riches to found new branches of the lineage and ensure the survival of their tales. They landed throughout Europe, burying their longboats with relics to mark their identities. They were the vessels of wisdom, the keepers of the past, and the bridge to future generations. And with this context, the stories weave seamlessly into the fabric of religious narratives, spanning from the Torah, Revelations, and the Quran. The Spangled Bards, with their golden tongues, did not simply recount events, they breathed life into them, ensuring that the deeds of yore would not be lost to the mists of time. Their stories and oral histories, rich in wisdom and cultural significance, were the gold that they spun, precious threads woven into the fabric of their society's identity and collective memory.
So let's jump back a little further to Genesis 2. Adam relaxing, reviewing the text as they approach the strange blue world. In the realm of stars and silent whispers of the cosmos, we commence our tale, rewinding time's fabric, through celestial trails we sail. A vessel not of escape but a chariot of destiny's own, piercing the universe's veil through starlit zones. Through the gem-flickered veil of the night, a vessel voyages, a marvel of cosmic flight. Not an ark from our blue orb's embrace, but a chariot to Earth, humanity's destined place. In the dance of galaxies where dreams intertwine, a journey not outward but to Earth's cradle, divine. From the cosmic ocean to a terrestrial shore, a tale of beginnings, of myths and much more. Genesis in hand, not mere words on a page, but a cosmic guide for an earthly stage. Eden's blueprint in nature's embrace, a sustainable model for the human race. In this narrative where time and space bend, our story's not just where we've been, but a guiding light for what we might become, in the cosmic dance under the sun. He gazed down at the entry. Settlement distribution triad. Garden of Eden, Tree of Life, Four-Headed River. A Garden of Eden. Genesis 2:8. And the Lord God planted a garden eastward in Eden, and there he put the man whom he had formed. Eastern sunrise, important for the initial colonization area. B. Tree of Life. More than a physical entity rooted in the soil of Earth, it is a cosmic antenna connecting the earthly domain with the vast expanse of the universe. Genesis 2:9. And out of the ground made the Lord God to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight and good for food. The tree stands as a beacon guiding Adam's soul to its destined landing, marking a sacred spot where the heavens touch the earth. See Four-Headed River. Genesis 2:10. And a river went out of Eden to water the garden, and from thence it was parted and became into four heads. Remember the importance of divergent waterways to feed resources to the colony. Need a centralized resource control hub to export culture, influence, and genes. Good plan. See if the people hold up.
There once was a cobbler with flair, making shoes with a celestial air. With a hammer and stitch, he bridged earth to heaven's niche. In New Jerusalem, shoes with soles we wear. By a lantern, a painter with glee brushed scenes of a world, perfect and free. No straight lines in my art, each stroke a divine part. In colors, New Jerusalem's laughter you'll see. On Humor Street, laughs echo a heavenly sound where every joke reflects love that's profound. With tales spun with light, darkness turns Ito bright. In laughter, all sorrows by grace are unbound. At twilight, in the pub's divine light, laughter echoes, making spirits take flight. With tales old and new, joy in the celestial brew, chuckles stars in New Jerusalem's night. There's old Joe with his dog, quite the pair, spinning tales that dance in the sacred air. He dreams he's a knight in heaven's moonlit night, chasing tales in streets where angels care. The florist, with a smile so wide, shares jokes where love and laughter reside. With each petal I sell, I ring New Jerusalem's bell. In blooms, my chuckles and God's love collide. On Humor Street, where jesters wear a crown, each word a laughter-filled, heavenly gown. In this joyous fleet, every encounter's a celestial treat. In this lane, divine joy is the main vein, renowned. As night wraps its arms in cosmic delight, New Jerusalem shines, oh so bright. In streets where jokes flow, you'll always know, here laughter and love unite in eternal light. In New Jerusalem's garden so lush, a baker laughs with a hush. With bread so divine, in each flower and time, here every loaf's a heavenly brush. At the crossroads where wisdom and wit meet, sits a tailor, her humor quite neat. With each thread and seam, she weaves a celestial dream. In garments of joy, angels we greet. Near the fountain, where crystal waters play, a musician strums melodies of day. With strings tuned to the stars, he erases all scars. In New Jerusalem, music paves the way. In the library where ancient texts align, a scholar chuckles reading each line. With wisdom so old, new stories are told. In this city, even words are divine. At the market, where spices and scents blend, a merchant jokes, making hearts mend. With each herb I sell, I ring heaven's bell. In New Jerusalem, laughter's the trend. Under the canopy of the celestial tree, a poet recites verses, free and key. With each rhyme and verse, the universe we converse. In this city, poetry helps us see. In every corner, every stone and street, the essence of New Jerusalem you'll meet, where humor and grace in a divine embrace create a world where love and joy greet. A city thriving with life, where old and new meet. As dawn breaks with a heavenly hue, the city awakens, fresh and new. In streets where dreams grow, you'll always know, here in laughter and love,
we find our clue.
In this boundless sea of inky black and twinkling gems, a capsule of humanity propelled forward, preserving within it the hope, dreams, and pioneering spirit of a once grounded bipedal species. The destination, a virgin paradise light years away from their home of Eden, a new world, Earth. Their most treasured artifact on board was an ancient text, the Bible. Originating from their homeland Eden, it was often debated whether this vital text was history, allegory, theology, or scientific manual. Genesis poetic verses bearing divine instructions geared towards survival, prosperity, and the very foundations of civilization soon morphed into a survival handbook for this space-borne crew. Genesis, the Bible's second chapter, portrayed Eden as the birthplace of 4 rivers with names that hummed with potential: Pison, Gihon, Hiddekel, and Euphrates. To their leader Adam, these rivers were more than waterways. They were life veins of resource management, cultural diversity, and strategic power. First amongst these was the Pison. Genesis 2:11 notes, "The name of the first is Pison, that is it which compasseth the whole land of Havilah, where there is gold." To Adam, this wasn't merely a river, but a complex infrastructure, channeling resources into Havilah, a place of prosperity. Within the verse, he saw a warning. Without a river, a life vein like Pison, this prosperity could be threatened. Gihon, the second of Eden's rivers, also held vital lessons. In Genesis 2:13, it's noted to encompass the whole land of Cush, a land far from Eden's center. The verse stood as a testament to the important role rivers played as routes of interaction, spreading cultures and diversifying civilization. Translated into their new life, it meant that the growth of a settlement was inherently tied to its access to connectivity. A lack of such connectivity could signify the absence of cultural diversity. The third river, Hiddekel, held lessons of power and resilience. Genesis 2:14 portrays Hiddekel as flowing towards Assyria, a land of strength and influence. Shadowed in the river's depiction was a revealing echo of challenges, both brought by competition and stagnation that can follow strength. An absence of such power, symbolized in the deprivations of a river like Hiddekel, could thus invite unique challenges. With the whispering lessons of these rivers, Adam found a map to navigate their alien world. The Bible, with its logical truths, provided their guide for survival. Pison, Gihon, and Hiddekel became symbols dictating the sustainability of resources, interdependence of elements, and potential challenges in the settlers' new home. Enriched by these revelations, the intrepid settlers journeyed onward, guided by the lessons of Eden's rivers. Armed with their newfound knowledge, they looked forward to a new Genesis, a new beginning.
In a garden of geometry where lines intersect, beauty and order, a visual architect, patterns unfold. In respect, in symmetry's embrace we reflect. On a filmmaker's set where fantasy reigns, surreal landscapes, unchained terrains, creativity's playground without reins. In the land of dreams, imagination sustains. Beside a mirror lake, under skies so vast, simplicity's echo in tranquility cast. Gentle ripples in nature's broadcast. In the lap of peace, our worries outlast. At a festival's heart where rhythms soar, vibrant scenes, an energetic core. Life's tapestry, in vibrant decor. In the dance of exuberance, we explore. In a sun-drenched classroom, ideas take flight. Clear thoughts, in the morning light, knowledge's journey, a delightful sight. In the realm of learning, we ignite. In a poet's nook, where words weave spells, metaphors dance in secretive wells. Thought's tapestry, where insight dwells. In the depth of verse, our spirit swells.
John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt. His name is my name too whenever we go out. The people always shout, "There goes John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt." In the quaint town of Jefferson County, Kentucky, nestled within the walls of Height Elementary School, young Jason found himself entranced by the echoes of a familiar tune. The melody of John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt, simple yet enigmatic, danced through the corridors, pulling Jason into a journey of discovery that intertwined the threads of individual agency, collective action, and universal principles in an unexpected symphony. To most, the song was just a playful nursery rhyme, hummed by his peers during recess. But to Jason, it held a deeper resonance. As he delved into its history and subtext, he discovered its potential role as a vessel of secret narratives and silent resistance, a revelation that uncovered a hidden layer beneath the melody's cheerful surface. This song, echoing through generations, might have been a coded genealogical record, a subtle rebellion against the controlling forces of its time. The more Jason learned, the more the song transformed in his mind. It was no longer just a series of catchy, repetitive lines. It was a historical artifact, a cryptic tale of shared heritage and a symbol of resistance. Jason pondered how something so simple could hold such complexity. He thought of the Catholic Church's dominance in society, and how this song could have been a quiet act of defiance, a way for groups like the Ashkenazi and Masons to preserve a lineage of divine origin, the bloodline of Christ and Mary Magdalene, right under the noses of those who sought to control them. Many dismiss the song as an innocuous melody that rides on the charm of familiar repetition, yet others believe that it encloses a cryptic tale of shared heritage and symbolic identity. This clandestine lineage, according to some, is woven through a seemingly cryptic mesh of names, actions and reactions subtly recorded in this tune, unseen, underplayed, yet omnipresent. The conventional understanding of John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt as a mere children's song is increasingly challenged by these provocative theories, asserting the song's role as a tool of silent resistance and encoded survival. Analysts and enthusiasts exploring the song in various historical, cultural and religious contexts present convincing interpretations of this tune as a coded genealogical record. They argue that the Catholic Church, prevalent in many parts of society, sought manipulation and control over identity and lineage through stringent record-keeping procedures. In response, a shared song emerged, encoding vital information about one's lineage subtly and effectively. This song's resilience and the endurance of its encoded lineage faced the scrutiny of extensive record-keeping, offering a quiet no to oblivion. Amidst this intertwining of religious scrutiny and genealogical complexity, secret societies have played a pivotal role. But that role is secret no more.
A long legacy. But let's come back to the more recent past. Over the eons, the ancients had learned from their mistakes and attempts. They adopted and adapted to a slow yet steadfast process of genetic integration to uplift humanity. They committed to the goal of attaining enlightenment for the greatest number of beings in the shortest possible time. The exact number who chose to remain behind is a matter of some sensitivity. But when biblical retribution seems disproportionate, think 3 digits, which takes us back to the Titans when that number seemed too high, as the world breathed in the wake of the Nephilim and the Great Flood. On a desolate and windswept island nestled in the vast Pacific Ocean, a profound and haunting transformation unfolded. The watchers would become the watched, the subjects of their own experiment, diving headfirst into the depths of de-evolution and reversion. The generation of entities that they birthed were the mythical Titans. These creatures personified negation of love, faith, and understanding, and brought triadic terror to the ancient world. From the rumblings of barbarity to the birth cries of civilization, there is no reaction without threat. What is the threat? How does it think? What will it do? The triadic biosurvival circuit. In Watchers, each element of biological psychology evolved in response to a need. Think of it as evolving to understand complexity. And we saw what that does to your head. So the Sons of God hybridization sneaks a new level in underneath. Instead of spending 50,000 years evolving another brain, humans get an upgraded cerebellum and a few thousand years of divine torture. Good deal? You probably don't feel any smarter. The cerebellum works differently than the cerebrum. You cannot activate it by concentrating in the same way. What you need to do is more like praying. Okay, it is praying, or meditating, or many things work. Okay, that is backwards. These things are what we call trying to activate that part of your brain. But you can seek insight by being open. I recommend seeking insight openly, without intention beyond love. Because trying to force a path is using the wrong part of your brain. And you get better ideas when you don't force it. So the Titan's negation is this new level, had to sneak it in flipped. We call it interconnectedness.
With the seismic shifts of the Norman conquest and the rise of chivalric literature, Spangle underwent linguistic evolution, paralleling the transformation of Arthurian legends. As these stories spread across Europe, they absorbed elements from various cultures. Much like the name itself, adapted in spelling and pronunciation. This period saw the legends becoming more structured and romanticized, reflecting the societal ideals of chivalry and nobility, just as the name Spangeal was refined and adapted to new linguistic environments. Where warriors and scholars alike gathered, the Spangeal bards wielded their most potent magic, the power of the spoken word. Their narratives were intricate tapestries, in which the threads of fact and folklore were seamlessly interwoven, creating a living, breathing chronicle of the Arthurian age. Spelling and pronunciation of Spangeal morphed to Sponagel and Spanagel in Central Europe, Sprecht and Schmidt in Denmark. S became B and K and N became P in German to produce Bepler and Kepler. And through a set of core root names, the entire project could be tracked. Adaptability was crucial for the name to frequently appear by reference. Written records provided a tangible link to the past, serving as a more stable historical reference. But I remained blind to the connections until music was able to draw it all together for me. Oh, the rhythm of my heart is beating like a drum, the words I love you, rolling off my tongue. No, never will I roam, for I know my place is home. Where the ocean meets the sky, I'll be sailing. Some messages are ever present, even without being spoken aloud. But until you speak them, you don't realize. The coded methodology of John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt that allowed me to find the patterns inverted. The Spangeal bards knew that the written word, like the spoken word, was fleeting as the morning mist. But complicated and repeated patterns could establish the links for each generational mother and father, marked as Spangeal quite clearly. And with each child given away, a tremendous sacrifice, a name would bind a man to his legacy. All people would have to do is keep their names. So, whether or not you subscribe to the scientific or the religious interpretation, the cultural is persuasive. A mother is irrevocably tied to her child is by virtue of their growth within her. But like all things, for an idea to become real, we must have a way to articulate it, to focus on it, to treasure it, and to love it. A child's name gives the father that bond, that personal link to the new soul, for you cannot understand something you do not know. And in doing so, they marked, in a time before genome mapping and statistical studies, the progress of a holy task to completion, and a way for me to provide the evidence so that no more mothers and fathers have to go through life not knowing their sons and daughters, in this quest for the Grail.
In the fading twilight of 1730, every corner of Rome seemed to whisper a name that echoed with a nobility of spirit and holiness of purpose. My name, Johannes Schepler. I stood a man balancing on the tightrope of forbidden lineage and imminent peril. Pursued by relentless inquisitors, spin their gears of heretical judgment, I projected a symbol of defiance and blasphemy. And yet, to the enlightened, my blood whispered a sacred narrative woven into the very tapestry of the soul. My wife, Sophia, stepping out of the shadow of fear, her spirit ablaze with unyielding resolve, proved my salvation. As the storm of persecution swirled around us, Sophia stood steadfast, a sunbeam piercing the darkest sky. She was my compass as I gazed at her from my knees like Christ at Mary Magdalene. Her strength became my faith, her hope, my salvation. Glowing with cosmic constellations and ancient wisdom, the triadic pattern charted a celestial pathway towards salvation. Sophia's hope, embedded with the lunar potency of resistance and the solar splendor of survival. My will to persevere through any hardship and preserve our sacred lineage. But two is always an unbalanced system. Under the daunting shadow of Cardinal Uberto Pallavicini, the Grand Inquisitor tasked with uprooting heresy, I had become a target marked for eradication. Cloaked in the fury of a gathering storm, Pallavicini had pursued me unseen, resolute to negate my holy mission. Faithless fury and blind judgment set the tone for Peter's false church, but the relentless chip of his zealous persecution threatened a fatal trip. A rebellion took shape, ordained in the confines of silence and secrecy. An alliance forged in the chambers of Freemasonry with Adam Weishaupt, the nascent architect of the Illuminati. A guardian of esoteric relics, imparting knowledge and nurturing seeds of empowerment in the youth, Weishaupt spent his life looking over his shoulder for the cloth he was forced to stain. The Holy See may not have any conception of the true power of the blood, but it certainly protects its own. Veiled in darkness, Sophia and I fled from the omnipresent menace of Rome's formidable grasp and sought sanctuary within Vienna, as yet untouched by the murderous wrath of the Catholic Church. Emerging from the chrysalis of Johannes Kepler, I wrapped myself in the austere cloak of Adam Westphal, a name braided with gratitude to the very man who sowed hope where despair once grew, and paying solemn homage to the inherited legacy of the first man, redolent of survival and renewal from a torrential downpour of adversity.
Our first date, unconventional as it was, began with a seemingly simple plan: to watch a movie together. Yet, fate had a twist in store for us, leading us to Black Book, a Holocaust movie in German, a language foreign to both of us. This choice, an inadvertent dive into awkwardness, was something I hadn't foreseen. Before the movie, we met for lunch, a decision rooted in the desire for comfort amidst the uncertainty of our new connection. The food stand, with its inviting sizzle and aroma, served as a casual haven, easing our nerves. Our conversation, light and cautious, was like a delicate dance around the edges of getting to know each other. Sophie's smile, cautious yet genuine, offered a sense of ease, bridging the gap between us, balancing our initial apprehension with a touch of familiarity. As we entered the cinema, a sense of unspoken curiosity hung in the air. Our movie choice, increasingly peculiar, became apparent as we settled into our seats and the German dialogue began. In the dim theater light, we found ourselves thrust into a narrative we couldn't fully grasp. This unexpected challenge mirrored the uncertainties in our relationship, spanning culture and language, compelling us to rely on non-verbal cues. Our exchanged glances, filled with attempts to read each other's reactions, were a silent conversation. We were navigating a delicate balance, torn between responding to the film's intensity and deciphering each other's presence. During the movie, I found myself in an internal tug-of-war over whether to reach for Sophie's hand. Amidst the film's profound themes, this simple gesture took on a weighty significance. Each time the thought surfaced, I retreated into hesitation, reflecting the broader uncertainty of new relationships. Effective nonverbal communication, such as shared glances and body language, could enhance the understanding of the movie's emotional context, even without complete linguistic comprehension. The hesitation to reach for Sophie's hand reflects a lack of physical connection, and is influenced by the film's intense themes, creating a dissonance between desire and action. The gravity of the film contributes to not reaching for the hand and the internal hesitation, underscoring the conflict between the emotional weight of the film and personal desires. The absence of a physical connection, such as holding hands, is intertwined with the film's intensity and the individual's hesitation, highlighting a complex emotional landscape. The internal conflict about whether to reach for Sophie's hand is influenced by the film's intense themes, which add depth to the decision. The profound themes of the film amplify the longing for a simple physical connection, making it seem more significant and meaningful. The desire for a physical connection feeds back into the internal conflict, perpetuating the cycle of hesitation and desire. The internal conflict directly relates to the film's intensity, but the decision is made independently of hesitation, indicating a moment of decisive action or acceptance. The longing for physical connection synthesizes with the film's intensity, suggesting a moment where emotional desire overcomes hesitation. The combination of internal conflict and longing for physical connection influences the perception of the film, illustrating how personal emotions can color one's experience of external events. This shared intellectual and emotional exploration fostered a growing sense of closeness. The barriers that once loomed began to dissolve, and the awkwardness that had shadowed our earlier interactions started to fade. The reflective processing of the film, combined with the deepening emotional connection, contributed to the sense of comfort and ease. In this comfortable space, we found a soothing counterbalance to the evening's earlier challenges, allowing for more open and meaningful communication. The evening was an unexpected journey through comfort, confusion, and a deepening connection. It underscored how unusual experiences can draw people together, laying the groundwork for something new and unexplored, and setting the tone for our relationship, unpredictable, a little awkward, but profoundly meaningful and unique.
The crowd is our invited witness, pulsating with life. Amidst it all, us, two souls converging on a joyous intersection of shared destiny. Wordlessly we commune, our eyes reflecting eternity ahead of us. Drawing a final glance at the joyous spectacle, I meet your eyes, painted with the colors of our shared dreams. Your smile, brimming with love, is my sanctuary against the chaos of life. I squeeze your hand gently, our private promise murmured in the bustling marketplace. Free from the confines of time and space, our souls are intertwined, pulsating to the rhythm of a shared heartbeat. Just as our lips are about to seal our unwavering love, a band of rowdy French children clatter through the gate, squealing in surprise at our ceremony. Their mocking laughter ricochets off the stone walls and barrels into the core of our shared heart. Ripples cascade through our scene of serenity, painted amidst the bustling Erfurt marketplace. First nodding to the children, then to the startled guests, I watch them scamper down the alley, their laughter lingering like a warning toll. A solemn shiver runs through me as I realize the defiance beneath the innocent veneer of their action. An intrusion, a veiled threat, a reminder of the fragility of our existence. And then I think, but children? Stern Wilhelmina shoos them into the Sunday afternoon and they run off crying. Frère, Ajak, ah frère, Ajak, ah. The song has a harsh echo. Looking around, I glean subtle smiles, hear a gentle clattering of mugs. We stand there in the epicenter of our world, stronger than before. The disruption dims. Our resilient love reclaims its moment. The unfinished kiss finds its sweet conclusion, sealing our bond under the watchful eyes of a welcoming sky. The marketplace, momentarily disrupted, sways back into its immersive rhythm. The air fills with cheerful voices, once again humming along the joyful chorus. Our legacy in plain sight, strengthened with every strain. Life breathed back to its original rhythm. Our love, resilient and defiant, bloomed amidst the shared melodies and the pulsating city life, like a crescendo reclaiming its tune after a sudden decrescendo. Our story, a symphony written in invisible ink, sung in silent tunes, and danced in echoless steps, continued, breathless yet breathing, silent yet screaming, its heartbeat synchronized with the rhythm of the beloved city, Erfurt.
As we navigate the tumultuous waters of international relations, we understand that countries today exist in a narrative web driven by actions, reactions, and the oscillation of global circumstances. The United States, a central player on this global stage, forms a powerful narrative influenced by its leadership choices, strategic decisions, and the underpinning ethical values. Our analysis begins by exploring the theoretical underpinnings of U.S. diplomatic relations based on the principles of coexistence and reinforcement. Understanding coexistence as an interplay of three intrinsic principles gives us a vital framework. U.S. leadership flashes its diplomatic prowess authored on proactive decision-making, resilient alliances, and the maintenance of international order. Guiding these strategic endeavors is a firm moral conviction, which sets the tone for its global influence. Leadership inspires and depends on strategic and responsible action, shaping the U.S.'s military support for Israel. Rather than a purely force-driven approach, this principle prioritizes peace and regional stability, serving as a protective shield for its allies against aggression. Each of these principles requires and embodies moral authority. This anchors a nation's foreign policy on a solid ethical bedrock, insisting on aligning every decision with the values of justice, human dignity, and human rights, regardless of the scale or impact of the actions. In a world thriving on balance and harmonious coexistence, these principles often intertwine to create a model of diplomatic interaction. When fully active, they sow the seeds of a prosperous international political environment, characterized by trust, peace, and stability. And thus we find ourselves on the precipice, leaving the equilibrium of peace and dipping toes into the churning waters of international crisis. And while the intoxication of power might sway some, our story advances with a sobering anticipation, shining a light on the convoluted dance of coexistence, reinforcement, and their eventual denouement. In international law, the principles of the jus ad bellum, the law on the use of force, specifically prohibit the use of violent force by states except in response to an armed attack, Article 51 of the UN Charter, or with authorization from the United Nations Security Council. However, the situation becomes more complex when the actors involved are non-state entities like Hamas. Hamas is not a state but a political organization with a well-armed military wing which controls the Gaza Strip. Here we see a blurring of the lines between internal law enforcement, the right of a state to maintain order within its borders, and the international laws of war. The key distinction lies in the attacks must not be expected to cause excessive civilian damage or loss compared to the anticipated military advantage, the principle of proportionality. On any humanitarian standards, Israel's heavy bombing of areas populated by civilians and attempts to deny the entire population of Gaza access to water, food, or electricity is more than unlawful. With tens of thousands of dead Palestinian women and children, it is clear that escalation is leading to the mass murder of the Palestinian population, and so it is with a strongly critical eye that we must examine the choices that brought us to this juncture. Stepping into the volatile scene, we witness the U.S.'s firm endorsement of Israel's actions against Hamas, an endorsement issued without much heed to the international laws of war or humanitarian concerns, thereby sparking the deterioration of U.S. leadership. In the face of evident violations of international law, the U.S.'s failure to cast bolder checks or hold Israel accountable exposes a significant weakness in its leadership, shaking the foundational values that once anchored its global standing. Bringing our focus to Israel's military action, we see its double-edged nature. While stating the intent of targeting terrorist bases and protecting national security, it regularly bombs densely populated civilian areas. The extensive loss of civilian lives and destruction of civilian property cannot be considered inadvertent and negates Israel's claims about its stated strategies and objectives. The intentional tipping of the scales towards aggression and reactionary violence tarnishes its justifications of these actions as strategic and responsible, further underlining the negation of ethical military action. Last, as we unravel the consequences of this conflict, the moral authority that both the U.S. and Israel previously held evaporates. As both nations continue to throw their weight behind aggressive political and military strategies, they fail to uphold the moral rectitude that originally defined their engagement with international relations. The neglected considerations of justice, human rights, and respect for civilian life during conflict charts a course for devastating symphony of desolation, ruination, and repudiation by the rest of the world. As this narrative unfurls, we are faced with the grim reality of a refugee camp bombed on Christmas Eve. In an act that egregiously breaches all norms of humanitarian law, the world watches helplessly as hundreds of innocent lives are extinguished under the crush of violent force. It is in the sickening aftermath of this act that the principle of feedback comes into harsh relief. By backing such a brutal and indiscriminate act, the U.S.'s leadership fails to meet the necessary standards of responsibility and restraint. Women, men, and children seeking refuge from violence become victims of the very violence from which they were fleeing. The stark contrast between the claim of eliminating terrorism and the reality of mass civilian casualties sheds a disconcerting light on the dark chasm between words and actions. Here, instead of protecting innocent lives, ineffective leadership fuels the cycle of violence.
In the noble discipline of Taekwondo, a power trinity prevails. The deceptive simplicity of balance, the controlled storm of force, and the cunning sleight of hand of energy conservation. These are no trifling elements dancing in splendid solitude. No, they engage in a complex martial minuet, a reflecting triangle of force and finesse, each nurturing and molding the other, composing the symphony that is martial supremacy. Balance, the subtle maestro takes center stage first in Taekwondo. Like a steady fulcrum, balance supports the martial artist's dynamic and forceful choreography. It is not merely a physical stance, but a pillar of inner certainty, a beacon of mental poise. A well-executed apchagi, or front kick, begins with the symmetrical placement of body weight, where balance ensures stability and sets the stage for the explosive force to follow. Balance, in all its graceful subtlety, remains a formidable precursor and constant companion to force. On your left foot pivot, assume the fighting stance. From here arises the roundhouse kick stance. This one's not just a kick, but an elegant swirl, an embodying of balance and power in a dynamic unfurl. Steady your souls against the ground's kiss. Find your center. In this balance lies bliss. Balance is the mother that births the coming storm. From its calming center, the embryo of force will form. Now shift your core towards the right side. Feel the left heel rising as the body does glide. Engage your pelvis, align it fast and tight. In this step hides the roundhouse kick's might. Kick now with your right foot, swift and sturdy. Watch as your left foot pivots, swift and steady. This is the force flowing true and wild, born of balance, potent yet beguiled. Force, born from the womb of balance, is a warrior's shout, echoing in the silence of a Taekwondo dojang. It embodies the raw, kinetic energy released in a dolyochagi, or roundhouse kick. It sparks in the pivot of the standing foot, ignites in the snapping extension of the attacking foot, and explodes into the target. Here, force delights in its splendid potency but does not bask in isolation. It turns its gaze towards energy conservation, towards the unseen puppeteer of sustainable power. Watch the strength they throw in their fiery fight. Find the rhythm, sense the energy's flight. Turn their power upon them. In right return, strength against strength, let their energy burn. Know this, to respond is not always to resist. Sometimes it's to redirect, sometimes it's to desist. Feel their force, predict its course, and then, my friend, apply the redirecting source. Mirroring water, learn to flow, learn to rise with their tide. Be one in clever disguise. Yield yet control, give way yet guide. In this dynamic equilibrium, you must confide. As the strike comes towards you, move in sync, not shy. Just as the moon embraces the tide, you must comply.
This cataclysmic shift spills over into what had been framed as the strategic and responsible military action. The destruction of a densely populated refugee camp is anything but proportional or strategic. The decision drastically pushes on the pendulum of war, turning a defensive act into a symbol of merciless brutality and aggression. Israel's military action brutally shatters civilian lives under the pretext of national security, thereby completely negating its framed intentions. Can you, watching the rubble and ruin caused by the bombing, reconcile it with righteousness? The disjunction becomes increasingly stark as the reality of the wanton destruction overshadows any claim to moral legitimacy. The fallen rubble, burnt bodies, and a traumatized population that bore witness to the horrifying events on a holy night scream louder than any hollow claims of justice. As the international community grapples to make sense of this crisis, we find ourselves on the precipice of consequences of the largely unchecked trajectory of U.S. leadership, Israeli military action, and their eroding moral authority. With the inescapable visuals of camp after camp, hospital after hospital, child after child blown apart and destroyed and etched in global memory, the harsh realities of conflict are thrust into the limelight. The global community, once reliable allies and supporters of both nations, find themselves reassessing their diplomatic stances, disassociating with U.S.'s authority and questioning Israel's military action. As events spiral out of policy control rooms and into war fields, international community grows increasingly displeased and alarmed by the U.S. conduct, eroding global trust in its leadership. What was previously seen as firm, assertive leadership is now revealed as misguided, disproportionate response in support of Israeli aggression. Consequently, as international and domestic pressure mounts, both nations impulsively resort to further military aggression, ignoring global calls for restraint and ceasefire. The rising toll on civilian lives and infrastructures amplifies the crisis, leading to a more substantial re-examination of Israeli-U.S. conduct and their disregard for international law and humanitarian concerns. The cascading impacts expose the decaying moral authority of both countries. The ruthless reprisals and unabashed endorsement of such actions run contrary to their proclaimed moral standards, ripping apart the veil of morality they had adorned.
A conductor of energy in balance, in grace. Take their power, redirect, redefine your space. The master puppeteer, energy conservation, dances on the thin strings of control and restraint. A wise Taekwondo pupil knows that energy is a precious commodity to be expended with thoughtful intention, not squandered. Consider the pumse, or pattern forms, where conservation of energy is crucial. Each move fluid and precise, expresses a careful measure of force, not a drop of energy spilled in excess. Energy conservation seals the martial pact, binding balance and force together in strategic unity. Draw your right arm across, palm facing ahead. Let balance guide you. Be wisely led, shoulders aligned, heart amid dread. In this martial stance, let your energy embed. Fold your arm inward, tight as a curl. Feel the surge of energy in an internal whirl. In the grip of your fist, claim your martial pearl. Embody the mountain, strong as time's twirl. Now unfold your arm, strong and free. Shatter the air like a crashing sea. Connect with the wind in resolute decree. Your energy unleashed in a resounding spree. Extend your arm fully. Feel the tug and fear. Your energy maximized, its purpose clear. In the tight hold of your fist, let no weakness peer. The block is complete, your defense sheer. In this grand spectacle of Taekwondo, balance fathers, force feeds energy, and energy maintained replenishes both. They dance a dance of endless feedback and reversion, an interplay of martial elements. Striving towards this harmonious triad provides a Taekwondo practitioner with more than skill. It bestows mastery over one's being. It forges not just a formidable martial artist, but a serene warrior at peace with the martial rhythm of life. And within this prism of balance, force, and energy conservation becomes the unwritten scripture of Taekwondo, an eternal hymn of martial beauty. In the silent dance where shadows spar and merge, echoes of Sun Tzu in the warrior's surge. Victorious warriors win first and then go to war. In each stance and strike, this wisdom at the core. Fluid as water, the Taekwondo spirit flows, adapting, shifting as Sun Tzu's doctrine shows. Be water, my friend, in every curve and bend, each move a ripple in the unseen wind, energy conserved, a silent, potent force. Sun Tzu whispers, subdue without remorse. In the hold of a fist, the calm before the storm, a strategy of peace in martial form. In the dojo of life, where these lessons unfold, stand the serene warriors, brave and bold. In the unity of balance, force, energies weave a tapestry of power that the wise conceive. In this eternal hymn of martial might, find your path, your truth, your light. With Sun Tzu's echoes and Taekwondo's song, in the art of war and peace you belong.
Now we are further pulled into a dark vortex. The world is held captive by a relentless negative feedback loop. And the US and Israel spiral from failure in leadership to intensifying military aggression to diminished moral authority, each failure amplifying the others. These failures suggest a devastating reality, a new norm dominated by human rights abuses and violent conflict. The US narrative subtly but persistently shifts from the promotion of peace and stability to a blatant abuse of power. There is a clear deficit in effective leadership from the US. The one-sided stance and the lack of neutral mediation efforts suggest a conflicted interest, leaving global stakeholders disillusioned. The ostensibly supportive actions appear more as a desperate attempt to sustain control over an increasingly volatile region than a well-thought strategy for conflict resolution. And where leadership fails, military dominance steps in. The disparaging extent of violence meted out by the Israeli armed forces and the growing hostility from Hamas are directly contradictory to the supposed strategic objectives of peace and stability. The continuous offensive action and retaliation only fuels the cycle of violence, resulting in untold suffering and despair for the affected population. Increased military aggression backed by the disoriented US leadership intensifies the calamity inflicted upon valiant civilians in Gaza. The persistent neglect of their basic human rights and the violence meted further undermines the moral authority. The disproportionate firepower aimed at civilian areas lays bare a stark reality the world cannot help but acknowledge. The complete dissociation between the leadership, military action, and moral authority lays bare a reality that no one is prepared for. The continued violation of humanitarian laws, destruction of Palestinian territories, and blatant disregard for civilian lives leads to even more profound loss of moral authority. These questions demand answers of our leaders on how they can support acts that blatantly violate humanitarian decency. A thoughtful and caring response by Bibi Netanyahu could have significantly altered the course, but he chose to focus on a military response. Joe Biden could have harnessed its influence to urge restraint, strategic de-escalation, and adherence to international laws of warfare. Anthony Blinken could have suggested that Israel target Hamas fighters who videotaped their crimes so they could be hunted down the way Israel chose to so many times before. But like Putin, the leaders of these two countries saw human lives they were meant to protect as an evil to be destroyed. What would the Father say? The beast would be proud. Oh, the Titans, what an incarnation. Their behaviors were indicative of full negation of the triadic constructs we've been examining. Each action they performed and each decision they made stood in stark contrast to love, faith, and understanding. Each negation represented a step away from harmony and served as a stark reminder of the dangers associated with uncontrolled power and knowledge. Enoch looked up from his lofty vantage point, his heart throbbed with anticipatory fear. The sky, once a boundless expanse of cerulean blue, had transformed into an ominous canopy. The meteor's flaming tail streaked across the heavens, a cosmic harbinger streaking towards Earth. It was the image of Jormungandr, the mythic world serpent he would one day inscribe in the annals of Norse lore, poised at the precipice of Ragnarok's impending doom. The onslaught began, a torrential tempest, a spectacular ballet of fire and ice, a raw spectacle of the universe's unforgiving cruelty and awe-inspiring majesty. The meteor came in at a low angle, like it had just barely been gripped by the Earth's gravity, in a weird fluke event, and looped around several times, wrapping the upper atmosphere in a band of fire. Fire in the sky, encircling the entire world. An image he would not soon forget in any incarnation. And then with a thunder like God's angriest shout, it exploded. The ice crystals within the meteor, vaporized now and super hot, found every fault line in the planet killer. And it blew into 1 billion pieces through the mountain's skeletal ridges and into the stilled heart of the world. Enoch and his fellows wrapped scarfs around their noses as the fine dust of rare earth metal settled toward the earth. The others urged him to come inside. Where would the shards fall? He told them God either wanted him to see or not, so they all stayed. The explosion had changed the course of the main chunk, twisting its path northward as it passed overhead and careened into the massive ice sheet. Flames danced over the celestial serpent scales, their fierce glow reflected in the river's roiling current that surged beneath the ice. Chaos unraveled. The ice roared as it splintered, releasing the pent-up waters unchained. Enoch could scarce comprehend the unfathomable force of nature's wrath. The torrent of water grew, a massive wave of unstoppable fury that ripped through the land, reshaping continents, erasing histories, and taking with it everything in its wake. It was Jormungandr's unhinging, the onset of a cataclysmic Ragnarok encased in ice and fire. In the tranquil aftermath, the ghostly whisper of the serpent's hiss echoed in Enoch's mind. Jormungandr had finally released its tail. The destruction of Ragnarok had come to pass. In the wake of the dreadful cataclysm, a hush settled on the world, the calm that follows the storm. First there was silence, the silence of rebirth. Then gradually the soft murmurs of life crept back, the restarting heartbeat in the world's chest. Ragnarok had passed, leaving in its trail a world irrevocably scarred, yet on the cusp of a new beginning. The universe had chosen to reset itself, and as he beheld the world's unmaking and the dawning of a renewed existence, Enoch could not help but be moved by the spectacle. With a spirit hardened against despair and kindled with renewed hope, he understood his purpose. But I digress. Embrace your personal values, emotions, and boundaries. Affirm your uncertainties and emotional exposures. Be sincere to yourself. This relates to maintaining personal integrity and honesty, which is vital for authentic and ethical action. Motivating yourself with good intentions triggers personal growth and transformation you did not know existed, which is a precursor to broader impacts. To promote the collective good, you must understand the broader community and society. You must explore how your actions affect others and learn from your mistakes. Some things must be learned for oneself. Seek novel solutions that benefit the community and challenge existing paradigms for the betterment of society. Human evolution is about consciously adapting our norms and values for the collective benefit, a dynamic interaction between individual actions and societal progress. Interconnectedness demands consideration of the universal good. This involves considering the impacts of your actions, not just on the immediate community of the planet Earth, but to the promotion of the 11th layer of string theory, the evolution of the universe's intelligence itself. Now, what would promote those interests? All I can do, I offer a logical analysis. Video credits, the currency of attention. I'll have to share more art, so I'll keep quiet about myself. The universal good is tangible when considered through the triads. Each triad corresponds to a layer of complexity in the universe, part of the underlying order or balance. This begins with the physical dimensions, proceeds through a fulcrum at layer 6 into forces and fields of much greater complexity. The highest manifestation of these is intelligence, the pinnacle of universal evolution, if and only if it can consciously perceive and contribute to that balance. If one does not study these triads and develop this mental alignment, it is essentially the same as choosing to disconnect from the universe. Without that connection, your soul could not be preserved and you would die off. The universe, on the other hand, needs us. The only way it acts directly without a real connection to intelligent beings like us is to chuck meteors, and we don't want that again. This logic reshapes our approach to the triad of the individual good, the collective good, and the universal good. Individual good becomes about personal growth and alignment with universal principles. It's not merely about personal benefit, but about evolving one's consciousness to resonate with the deeper harmonies of the universe. This involves a journey of learning, self-awareness, and personal transformation. B. Collective good is now about social evolution and collective consciousness. It goes beyond societal benefits to encompass the evolution of collective human intelligence and its harmonious integration with universal principles. It involves social structures, cultural evolution, and the collective human effort to align with and contribute to the broader cosmic order. C. Universal good represents the ultimate alignment with and contribution to the cosmic balance and order. It's the pinnacle of universal evolution where intelligence, especially human intelligence, plays a crucial role. This alignment is not passive, but requires active participation in understanding and contributing to the universal balance, such as through the study and application of the triads. The right action for the individual involves continuously striving for personal enlightenment and alignment with the universal order. It's about developing one's intelligence and consciousness in a way that resonates with the deeper truths and balances of the universe. Right action for the collective is about fostering a collective consciousness that is in tune with the universal principles. It's about societal evolution where communities and cultures align their practices, values, and knowledge with the greater cosmic order. Right action for the universal good involves the active participation of human intelligence in the cosmic balance. It's about understanding and contributing to the universal order, essentially becoming co-creators and custodians of the cosmic equilibrium. To conclude today, my selection wasn't a random choice. It served to address the very obvious moral and ethical dilemmas it surfaces, sparking dialogue and thought on seemingly entrenched moral codes of its day. Give some thought to the author's predicament. Faced with a profound truth but needing to veil it in the fabric of a counter-narrative, hoping initiates will see beyond the counter-narrative to grasp the true wisdom hidden within. Because if we are now able to reinterpret the wisdom that was always intended to be discovered, we must also acknowledge that the author knew the truth, but chose to hide it intentionally. Ask yourself why. To please the powers that be, no doubt. The layers of meaning hid truths that the unenlightened of the day would have destroyed, hence ensuring our own evolutionary progress. But today we find ourselves at the precipice of a new era, an era of negation and resultant realignment. The historical function of triadic logic, which once cloaked wisdom and kept people in the dark, must itself be negated, not by denying its existence, for after all you cannot refute a fundamental law of nature. We must instead reinterpret it. A method of hiding knowledge becomes a method of rediscovering knowledge. Applying triadic logic, we unravel the intricate tapestry of ancient narratives, religious texts, and mythologies. We scour the recesses of symbolic nuances and unearth the silent whispers of wisdom hidden deep within. Our exploration unveils a systematic approach to glean undiscovered pearls of wisdom and to comprehend the labyrinthine tales of yore in all their glory. A method for exerting power from the shadows becomes a method of empowering and enlightening people. True empowerment is not a mere transference of knowledge, but it's the ignition of a spark that lights up the dormant ability to interpret, critique, and derive personal understanding from the world around us. Triadic logic crumbles the fortress of the conventional top-down model of knowledge dissemination. No longer is the receiver expected to swallow the information hook, line, and sinker. It draws a new narrative where an individual's role transforms from a receiver to an active participant, navigating the narrative, challenging and questioning its elements, probing correlations, and decoding intricacies with a keen eye. A method of preserving information for future generations becomes a method for teaching our children. We must break away from traditional teaching methods that lay undue emphasis on rote memorization, akin to an echo bouncing back. Implementing triadic logic in our education system heralds a revolution in our teaching methodologies. It proposes an evolutionary leap from mere learning to absorbing, questioning, and interpreting. Let's grab this chance, for in our hands rests the power to change tomorrow. Today, let's redefine knowledge. Let's redefine how we learn. Together, let's redefine the world, our world.
In the veiled alleys of Verona, bitter rivalry festers, a corrosive force that seeps into the city's soul, distorting the tapestry of familial bonds and warping the essence of societal constructs. Within this maelstrom of enmity, the love of Romeo and Juliet, pure as the first light of dawn, emerges as a quiet rebellion against the unyielding structures of their existence. In their world, where love is a prisoner of lineage and societal decree, their passion heralds a transcendent truth. Love, in its most unadulterated form, knows no borders, no limits. Their tragic union illuminates the still unfulfilled possibility of a world united by the tenets of unconditional love, where familial and societal expectations are not chains, but threads in a tapestry of broader human connection. In realms where heart and stars align, balance reigns, designs divine, love's hues subdued, intense sublime, reflect the give and take of time. In love's grand hall, a balanced scale, where hearts in harmony prevail, brothers, wives, and husbands, mothers. In sons and daughters, strengths unveil. Love's harbor beckons heart at sail, vast seas, wide worlds, unknown travail. Love's script is penned on history's page, opposing sides, tides, tribes uncaged. In love's embrace we find our place, stabilized yet free to chase, the dreams that time cannot erase, as love steadies weakened faith. Warmth and truth light hope a path, ripples spread where love is cast. Bold hearts less spite approach to save, strong-willed, prideful, and foolish knaves who stalk their solitary graves too proud to see love's white flag wave. In acts of faith a chain reacts, feelings bound by tender acts, but love's retreat a stark contrast, discord swells in lonely wrath. Love's journey curious in its weave, twists and turns we scarce believe. Looking back, these hearts perceive lessons learned that we conceive. Not in straight lines but circles round. In love's domain our paths are found. Reflecting back, the truths abound, in every heart love's tune resounds. In love's embrace, a diverse throng where every soul can find a song. Exclusion's shadow, cold and long, narrows our view, a siren's gong. In understanding hearts unite, broad visions in love's pure light. Yet where we exclude, we invite a narrower path devoid of sight. Love's facets, interwoven beams, compassion, empathy in streams. But where love's flow encounters seams, we find the gaps in our shared dreams. As rivers meet, their courses show a confluence where feelings flow. Yet bottlenecked, these streams grow slow, revealing less of what we know. O celestial architects of fate, what light through yonder breaking dawn does shine? It pierces the veil of long-held night, revealing truths unseen, unfelt till now. Here in the quietude of night, a revelation dawns, bright and unbidden. A tempest of change, it roars through this heart, once shackled by ancient grudge, now freed by love's pure light. Like pawns on a checked board, we played the game of ancestral hate. Our joys, our sorrows, bound by lines drawn long before our birth. No more this heart awakened, refuses the chains of needless strife. My sun, my guiding star, in her eyes a universe of wisdom. Her love, a mirror reflecting a new world, where love is not a prisoner of names, nor bound by the iron chains of old vendettas. In harmony, love's song rings clear, a symphony for all to hear. Yet dissonance, when it draws near, teaches us love in every tear. Sweet melodies of souls entwined, in dissonance new chords we find, each note in contrast yet aligned, in love's vast score our fates are signed. From many hearts love's river flows, a confluence where warmth glows. Yet diverging paths, as each knows, shape the depth where true love grows. In convergence, feelings blend. In divergence, they extend. Teach patience till we understand the place where love will guide our hand. Fusion found in love's embrace, grace denied our heart awaits. When harmony and heartbeats sound, yoked to task our drive abounds. And yet divided we lose ground, loss of union most profound. Each unique soul fears for loss of what holds value to your thoughts. But when those thoughts fly to the breeze, ask to whom your fear would lead. You to hold and care for tight, then ask what they would think is right. The beats of our hearts show our steady intent, a tapestry woven through time's swift ascent. Disjointed yet resonant, our shared discontent, held blind to the vision that change represents. Burdens obscene always must end, where when or how is not a question. In worlds where affirmations mean only what we think they seem, negations serve a crucial role. Magnetic hearts need common poles. Infinite odds beckon calls of despair, ignoring love's all-encircling care. Threads united form a net, love embroiders hope's fabric. A globe of space was not so much to measure with a gentle touch, but insight's heart and wisdom's faith could only take me half the way, then lead me back to love's first sin, wondering and questioning not the traps we must dissect, but drives too deep to introspect. Love links deeds to unknown ends. We go where the author sends. The unity that love secures provides a script more clear than words.
In a lab where art's heart beats with paint, wind and spin, a dance of colors unfurls where new worlds begin. In this realm where elements play, in a whirlwind ballet, art's spirit roams free in a vibrant display. The paint, like a dreamer's fluid thought, flows and weaves, creating tapestries on canvas as the artist conceives. Each hue, a whisper of emotion, a stroke of the soul's yearn, in this laboratory of wonder where imagination takes its turn. The wind, a gentle sculptor, unseen yet deeply felt, guides the paint in patterns where chaos and order melt. A breath from the world's lungs in this artistic rite, crafting visions on canvas in the dance of light and flight. And rotation, the endless cycle, mirroring time's own face, spinning tales of color in an eternal embrace. Like planets in their orbits or leaves in autumn's swirl, on these rotating canvases, the artist's dreams unfurl. In this laboratory, a microcosm of life's own art where science and creativity gracefully impart. Lessons of beauty and change in each experiment's heart, here in the whirl of paint and wind, true art does start. So in this space of wonder where elements align, the artist finds their voice in a symphony divine. In the fusion of paint, wind and rotation's song, in this dynamic laboratory is where they truly belong. In each drop of color, in every gust of air, in the spin of the canvas, an artist's soul lays bare. Here in this haven of creation where the mundane departs lies the essence of beauty, the beating heart of arts.
In tapestries where epics weave melodies in balance, a citadel of song bridges time. Each brick a rhythm, each pane a verse, each door a new beginning. The ancient cabin or harmony unites eras, a hub of timeless tunes. Folk and blues cycle within its walls under the moon's embrace. Stories of love and life echo in each refrain, a sanctuary for souls traversing time in its cyclic domain. In grand halls where history and ballads intertwine, the majestic sway of words echo from the walls, their music a thoughtful testament to the beauty of time. A myriad of metaphors dance endlessly, waltzing from corner to corner in a dance of allegory and theme, surging to an operatic blend of emotion where paths of blues and ballads intersect. Each tale becomes a bridge from mind to heart, opening world upon which we reflect, in tales that mark a soulful chart. Foundations deep in relevance, themes of time and space, sing the ballad of humanity's journey, an eternal interlude. The notes capture past and future in the present's embrace, a rhythm of struggle, the personal and universal renewed, where individualism blends harmoniously to a collective beat. The song of life connects us all through shared experiences and emotions. It captures the pivot from shadow to light, the duality of our existence, in every line revealing purpose behind our notions. The rich tapestry of our ballad is woven from values, beliefs, and dreams. Innovation's winds guide exploration's harmonic spirit through literary song and theatrical play. A journey of discovery charts a harmonious way. Push past what is known like a timeless breeze, discovering expression on uncharted seas. Folktales converge our collective identity, as narratives connect our shared humanity. A synergistic lineage, tradition, art, and hope, breathing life to the present with a past less unknown. Stories take on life in a new generation's breath, our shared history, a dance of life and death. The legacy resounds, heard in each note. Old Jerusalem falls in fire and smoke. New Jerusalem beckons, enchanted by hope.